You are now tuned into Somewhere in the Middle with Soonie and Mo.
Hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 hey.
Hey, Don on the beat.
Hey, I got so many ups.
Everywhere I go, I
got so many ups.
so many ups.
I know they plotting against me. I know it's hate, they wanna kill me, but please don't tempt me, cause I got so many glocks. Hey, ain't none of them empty. Jesus said they would hate me too. That's how I know it's envy. I got so many ups.
Popping, y'all.
What's poppin'?
What's
Hey
good?
guys, happy Friday. We back. We're back with Jaron.
I'm just waking up from a nap, so I'm just
Jaron's waking up from a nap.
yeah.
He's going to town in LA for dinner tonight,
Yeah,
so you
that's
know.
I'm staying out past 10 p.m., so I need to get some rest beforehand.
Yeah, it's date night, baby.
Yeah, it's
You gotta put out. You gotta put out tonight.
I know. I need to make sure I got my energy, especially because we didn't go out on Valentine's Day.
Oh, this is a makeup. Okay.
Yeah, because it's too expensive. Like everything is the prices are hiked up for Valentine's Day, so we just saved some money, stayed in. Now we're going out.
You won't be cheap.
I am. I gotta be cheap. Dude, we're living in Joe Biden's economy right now, so everything's.
Oh really? Oh really, Libby? Oh really, Mister? I'm still gonna vote for Joe Biden.
I like overpaying for everything. It's I love that.
Oh man. Oh my gosh. What's up? What's up? You good? What the hell? Soonie coming in with that COVID-19.
No, I just hit the weed.
Oh.
And I muted, but I came in coughing.
Oh, my bad. Okay.
Sorry to all my conservative followers. That's what it is.
You got sativa or indica over there.
I don't smoke sativa. That's for psychopaths.
And you can't do indica because you'd be in the couch if you did indica right now.
That's how indica makes you feel. I get energy off it.
You? Oh, wow.
Yeah. Don't get it twisted. I'm not a smoker, okay? There's been a couple times I've indulged and I'm just like, It's either...
You know what? I love this. This is so funny. I love this about you.
What?
You will accept degeneracy at crazy level at times.
Yes.
But then you're quick to be like, but I don't smoke.
But I
don't do that.
I don't do partake in the weed. Well, because I need people to know I am a good girl. A good
It's weed. Weed don't make you a bad
girl.
Listen, the weed came from the earth.
Oh, Lord.
Lord put here for us. It grows naturally.
Here we go. Well,
if
this
you
was
take Tylenol, you're doing drugs anyway.
Listen, well, then I guess because I do Tylenol quite often. I'm a woman of a particular age. We'd be popping those Tylenol pills, okay? Well, this was a good intro to our wonderful thumbnail today, which was Ghetto Chronicles, and y'all are gonna find out.
God damn! Why you firing off at me?
Y'all are gonna find out why we are naming this Ghetto Chronicles, okay? Because there's a reason. This is such a good... We didn't plan this. Soonie coming in with a weed pen or anything like that.
I'll be ghetto, y'all.
She came in. While we are getting started and waiting for you guys all to come in to the show, every time I open this up, I have to refresh my comments for some reason. Anyways, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. If you're watching from whatever platform you're watching from, make sure you head on over to Somewhere in the Middle and subscribe to that channel, and subscribe to whatever channel you're watching it on, but subscribe to Somewhere in the Middle. What's up, Deontay? What does he say? If he's voting for Biden, his sanity is in question.
Nah,
This goes for him.
I'm supporting my Joe.
I think the same.
Joe. Let's go, Joe.
I think the same could be said if you're voting for Trump, right? Like you could be, your sanity could be in question.
Voting for any of these fools, actually.
Yeah,
they're all the same.
True. We each have to justify, our insanity for our candidate. That's for sure.
Shout out to D, bro. Shout out to D.
Shout out to D. Shout out to Red Pill.
My brain expanding. If you guys ever want a good recommendation for books, if you're a reader like I am, that's a guy to go to. He's got a whole library.
He's a human encyclopedia.
Excuse me. I'm getting myself together.
He says the same thing he said for voting for Donald Trump. Well, it just, I guess, in the sense of like how you're justifying why you're voting for Donald Trump, because I get it all the time. I'm voting for Donald Trump, but I also criticize Donald Trump, you know, and I get criticized for that. So it's like, I'm on the other side of it. Like Jaron has to justify to the other side why he's voting for Joe Biden. I have to justify to my side why I'm voting for Donald Trump, but why I also criticize Donald Trump. So I don't know what's worse.
I think I'm just voting against Trump more so than voting for Biden.
No, you're voting for Biden.
Now I'm voting against Trump. Just give me John Bell Edwards. You know, I'll vote for him.
Who's that? John Bell Edwards,
the governor of Louisiana. I like him. He's cool.
Oh, okay.
Give me somebody else. You know, I don't want to vote for Biden, but I got to.
Then don't do it. You know what? By November, we are going to flip your vote. We are going to flip your vote. I guarantee you. Breaking news: Trump indicted for filing bankruptcy after his lawyers found out about his fine and penalty in NYC. He might just file for bankruptcy. Although I don't know why he would. You know, we'll talk about that case in New York City because I think it's quite funny that he has to pay these fines for basically misstating his income when taking out multiple loans, which he has paid back in full. So I'm not sure who he has defrauded exactly in that case. And which, go ahead.
You can't misstate your income on loan applications.
People do it all the time.
I mean, you want that high credit limit, right?
Yeah, people do it all the time.
I make $6 million a year. You know.
I mean, I don't take it that far, but I guesstimate. You know what I mean? But I mean, as long as you're paying your loans back, right. Who cares, right? Who cares? Anyways. So, well, the big topic today is going to be this very, very juicy, at least the big topic for me is going to be this very juicy trial that's taking place in Fulton County. And it's basically I don't want to say it's a trial in the sense that they have a jury, because it's not. It's just the attorneys and the judge, and obviously the people that they're calling to the stand. But Fani Willis is being accused, and also Nathan Wade, the guy that she hired to prosecute Donald Trump in the Fulton County court case, the election fraud case. And she's being accused of misconduct in that trial. Now, I have a video that I put together for those of you guys that don't know much about this, haven't been watching the trial. I put together about a 5-minute video. It should be entertaining to kind of catch you up. But basically, this trial is to see if they're going to disqualify Fani and her entire office from being able to prosecute Donald Trump. And this is why we named it Ghetto Chronicles. Okay? Because I have never seen anything so ratchet. Okay. And I know there's a lot of clips flying around, but let me tell you, when I was putting together this video that y'all are about to see, it could have been 20 minutes of Fani Willis just being ignorant as hell. And that was just her testimony. Okay. I didn't even put Nathan Wade's testimony in there because basically Nathan Wade took the stand first. That was the guy she had an affair with, had a relationship with. He's the guy that she hired to prosecute Trump. Okay. She did not want to take the stand. Yesterday, this trial started. She did not want to take the stand. She was trying to get out of the subpoena. Okay. After Nathan took the stand and basically just sunk her little ship, she came running from her office, y'all. This was on TV. She came running from her office into the courtroom. This was like a Spanish novela. And she was just like, I need to get on the stand. And they put her on the stand and she did herself zero favor. Soonie, did you watch any of it? Any little clips or anything?
Absolutely not. I haven't.
Oh, you are going to eat this up then. What do you think, Jaron? What do you think so far of this trial before I play this clip?
I just think it's a bunch of bullshit, honestly. And not for the fact that she's on trial. I mean, yeah, the fact that she is on trial. Why did you open yourself to the situation in the first place?
Right.
You know, that's my biggest thing. It's like you're trying to be the person to bring down Trump, and you know they're going to throw every single thing at you, and you're this stupid,
right?
Thinking your shit don't stink, that you can just turn your nose up at the law and at ethics, I should say, right?
Yep.
That's my biggest thing. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and you had some background because I didn't know Fani is
She's
also
prosecuting Young Thug, so YSL, right? Time Life. They got brought up on racketeering charges before this even happened, and apparently at that time she was a defense attorney for YSL Mondo, who's also part of that, part of the same crew, and she is accused. It came up that they were sleeping together years prior to her charging them with racketeering and prosecuting this case. So like that's been out there before these allegations even came out in the first place. So it's like she just cannot do right.
Right.
You know, I don't want to say she's wild and loose, but you know, she's playing wild and loose.
She wild and loose, all right. Does she even bother to wear a bra? Let me see that. Look at this. This is crazy. People were commenting that she's actually wearing her dress backwards. That was another thing because the zipper it looks like a backward zipper. But give me about 5 minutes of your time. I'm going to catch y'all up on what this is all about. We've got some Fani highlights in here. And then Soonie can then join in on the conversation because I am sure she's going to have some commentary on Mrs. Willis's commentary. So here we go.
District Attorney Fani, F-A-N-I. Last name is Willis.
Rarely does a prosecutor in a criminal case get questioned under oath by the defendant's attorneys. But it was clear long ago the election interference case against Donald Trump and 14 others now is no typical prosecution.
I object to you getting records. You've been intrusive.
A defiant Fani Willis testified she and Nathan Wade dated for about a year after she brought him in as a special prosecutor. But they've done nothing improper, she says, and she did not benefit financially from the relationship.
I want to say, because my marriage was irretrievably broken, I was free to have a relationship.
Wade testified his marriage was irretrievably broken in 2015, but he and his wife decided to stay together until their children were out of school.
When did your romantic relationship with Miss Willis begin?
2022.
When? In 2022.
Early 2022.
That would have been after he was hired by Willis to manage the racketeering case against Donald Trump and others. Wade said the two didn't travel together before then, and they roughly split vacation expenses, with Willis paying him back in cash.
You don't have a single solitary deposit slip to corroborate or support any of your allegations that you were paid by Mrs. Willis in cash, do you?
No, sir.
Not a single solitary one.
Not a one.
Willis confirmed she reimbursed Wade in cash, explaining her father always advised her to keep 6 months cash on hand since she's a single woman. Defense attorneys argue Willis only hired Wade, paying him more than $650,000 so far, so she could get a financial benefit from all those trips. They also challenged the timeline, calling Robin Yeardy, a former DA office staffer who considered herself a good friend of Willis. Yeardy resigned in lieu of being fired in 2022. She said she saw Willis and Wade kissing and hugging as far back as 2019. Trump attorney Steve Sadow pressed her.
Are you certain that Ms. Willis told you about the romantic relationship with Mr. Wade prior to November 1st of 2021?
Yes.
But her old boss was defiant.
In the first 3 months of 2021, when I could still enjoy my home, Mr. Wade never came to South Fulton, and it is certainly a lie that he lived with me.
Yeah. It's bad. And like I said, there was a lot more footage than that. Her testimony, especially being a district attorney, was terrible in the sense that the woman cannot directly answer a question to save her life. Okay. When they were trying to go through all the money she spent and all the trips that they took, they were like, tell us about the money you spent in California. And she was like, well, I bought him a bottle of wine. He likes wine. I don't like wine. I like Grey Goose. Nobody asked you if you liked Grey Goose, girl. Like, seriously. She just talks too much. And that's why she sunk herself in this, because she gave way too much information that they didn't ask for.
She's playing right into their hand, in which I'm talking about the defense team's hand, in which it's, in a way, it's tainting the jury pool in a way, right? Like you're turning yourself, Fanny's turning herself into a character that nobody's likes, right?
Yeah.
So when it does, if she stays on the case and it does go to trial, then you're turning the would-be jurors against you because you're so off-putting. You're making a mockery of the court proceedings inside there, and like everything you want to criticize Trump for being too braggadocious, for not answering questions, for pushing back, for being too aggressive. You're doing the same exact thing.
Yeah.
It's sickening to see.
Yeah. And she's an ultra feminist. She talked the whole trial about how she's like,
and how he's a man, and men see ends of relationships differently because physically and emotionally are two different endings because he's a man. It's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Soonie, when they asked her when the relationship ended, she's like, well, to him, it may have ended on this date, but to a woman, the relationship isn't over until we have the conversation. He's like, I mean, Soonie, you would have been so annoyed with her. Like, you would have been screaming. I was screaming at the exactly. I was screaming at the TV. I was screaming at the TV the whole time. I was just like, shut the fuck up. And I was just like, answer the fucking question. Oh my God. I was like stomping in my living room. Yeah. What did you think about that? What you did see?
To be honest, I'm kind of speechless. Like, I talked to my husband this morning about this because I was like, I don't know anything about this. Mo wants to talk about it, but I honestly don't know anything about it because I haven't paid attention to it. I think it's a major distraction from what actually matters. This woman is clearly guilty of whatever they're accusing her of. She's not fit to run any defense against Trump. It's clearly something personal. You clearly have had someone put a battery in your back.
Right.
You're suffering from Trump derangement syndrome. I meant what I said. Black Democrats in power are mentally ill. Like, something is wrong with you if you really think that is going to get you off. Like, you're somehow going to be able to go back to winning something against Trump at this point. All your dirty drama has come out. This is just very common. Anytime you see a Black Democrat in power, it's very common. There's usually some funny business going on. There's usually some fraud, doing something behind the scenes that you ain't got no business doing because somebody to put a battery in your back. That is really the only thing I have to say about this. It's an embarrassment.
It is.
She ought to be ashamed of herself. And this makes our justice system look like a fucking joke. It really does.
It certainly makes
this is a joke.
County look like a joke. I was saying, I mean, I think anybody who's ever been prosecuted by Fani needs to probably be pretty upset because one of the clips I didn't put in there, or people that gave to her campaign, one of the clips I didn't put in there was a clip where she outright admitted that she took money out of her campaign and added it to her little safe that she keeps at home with all the cash that she paid Nathan
Why is she
Wade.
still able to practice law?
I don't know.
Your license needs to go bye-bye. And listen, I'm not saying Young Thug is innocent. I don't know what the hell he's guilty of. All right. It is what it is. But this woman is prosecuting him, correct? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
There needs to be a mistrial declared. Just solely based off of her behavior in this.
Yeah.
Her behavior outside of it.
Yeah.
He needs to have a mistrial. Period.
And like, I don't think it's a problem specific to Black Democrats. I think it's just when people get in positions of power and you know how to skirt the rules, right? Like, I don't think what she did was technically illegal. It's highly unethical, which is, like when you can just walk up to that line, right? And know what you can get away with. And that's what they're doing. Like, because like because they're on the same side, because there was, I forgot who it was, right? But she was prosecuting somebody's political opponent, and she went to their fundraiser and made a donation to their fundraiser. So she got disqualified from that case as well, because, you know, it's that conflict right there. But since her and Wade are on the same side, it's technically not illegal according to Georgia law. It's unethical, but it's not illegal.
Correct. The only thing she had and it may fall under legal in this case, but she did have a duty that if she was in fact sleeping with Nathan Wade when she took on this contract or this case, she had a duty to tell her team, hey, we're in a relationship, we're in a romantic relationship. But you know, she's arguing the date,
right,
and saying no, it wasn't romantic. But there's, you know, the lady that you saw with the glasses and the chain with the glasses, she worked with her, and she's the one that came on to testify to say she was living in my house, okay, that she was renting for me, and I can testify I saw them with my own 2 eyes kissing and hugging back in 2019. So messy, I'm telling you.
It is. And again, like, goes back to her thinking her shit don't stink. Like, why? Like, everybody was wondering why you chose him in particular to put on this case.
Yeah.
Like, because when you go back to what he's currently practicing, he's a former prosecutor. You go back to what he's currently practicing, it's like some civil litigation, right? So he didn't have the
he never did criminal.
Right. To even know this case. So that was the first red flag.
Yes.
Wondering why was he on the case in the first place? And for you just to thumb your nose up at everybody else thinking it won't come out, thinking everybody else, you know, you're smarter, more intelligent than everybody else.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want with no accountability. That's what pisses me off.
Yeah, exactly. So Holly has a comment here. She's also in hot water for not claiming the money gifts on her disclosure statement. Yes, that's correct. And that's where the whole cash thing comes into play. So they're being very crafty, Nathan and Fani, on how they're answering the question of, okay, y'all went on trips together. It was paid for on your business card, which they said all of their personal stuff would go on their business card, and their accountant would then go back and like separate the things that were personal versus business. And Fani was like, well, I paid him cash for reimbursement for these trips that we took, romantic trips that they took. She paid him cash. And then they asked Nathan, do you have record of you depositing the cash? And he's like, no. So you can't prove where somebody's cash came from. And if they don't deposit in their bank account, you can't prove where it went.
To be fair, Nathan Wade's mama told him to keep 6 months of cash on hand because he's a single man.
Oh, are you joking? Or his mom told him that too? Oh, okay. Because, you know, Fanny's dad took the stand today and he said it's a black thing.
It's a black thing. You got to keep it in the mattress, you know.
Soonie, do you got 6 months of cash in your house? Oh, yeah. 6 months of cash. Yeah.
Not because I'm waiting for like a rainy day to be a single woman, but I've got children and a future, and like this economy, you know, Joe Biden's economy. I ain't trying to be broke at the end of this.
So you have 6 months of cash.
Yeah.
Oh, dang. Maybe it is a black thing. What about you, Jaron?
No. Hell no. I can't keep everything in the bank. But
oh, you're talking about physical cash.
Yeah. Physical cash. Yeah. Physical cash.
No, I keep it in the bank. But what Nikki said is entirely true. That comment right there that just came up. Mm-hmm. Like they had to disclose it.
Yes.
And that's where it comes in. Like, if it wasn't disclosed to the court ahead of time, then it can disqualify her from the case. And if she's disqualified, the whole office gets disqualified. Then it goes to a state board of prosecutors. And just like the previous case that she was disqualified from, that hasn't proceeded.
Right.
Like, so same thing could happen with this one right here, right? It goes to that state board. It doesn't proceed. And this is the biggest fucking case of your entire career.
Mm-hmm.
And they're gonna come at you with every single thing they have.
Yeah.
And you gave them this opening.
Yeah.
Because you thought that you could get away with it.
Yeah.
It's
so,
like Yeah.
So much so that Nathan Wade testified that he took a huge financial hit signing the contract to join on to this case. I mean, he said quite literally it brought him to tears how much money he was losing because he was working hundreds of hours for free because the contract basically stated a cap on how much they would pay you, regardless of how much you worked. So now he's out all that cash because he ain't working this case no more.
And it also gives legitimacy to the claim that it's just a personal prosecution, right? Because why would you put him on the case? So he can make a name for himself, right?
Yeah.
If he's taking less money
right
to work this case, and she chose him to be on, and the case, results in a conviction, he makes a name for himself. So he stands to benefit from it in the long term. So she want to hook him up in a way.
Well, hold on just a second, because I don't think you watched all the testimony today because they actually brought on the stand the original guy that she wanted because Nathan was not her first choice.
Okay.
Her first choice was an old white man, okay? He'd been there for a long time, and he said, I have a whole law office practice to support. I can't take this case and take the financial hit. So he said, no thanks. Okay, so then she gave it to Nathan.
And he left private practice and took the hit.
Yes. And the whole thing about his marriage, for instance, okay, where he said in the video, my marriage was irreparably broken. So that gave me the permission to have a relationship. Okay. He was not divorced. But let me just point this out. The day after he signed the contract to be the lead prosecutor, the next day, he filed the divorce papers to divorce his wife and requested the records to be sealed.
Yep.
Okay. If that doesn't say
because
shady,
that's in Cobb County, right?
Yes.
That happened in the county over where those divorce proceedings. Yeah.
Yes.
And wanted to hide every single thing.
Yeah. Shady. Super shady.
Yeah. It's like I don't believe in all these coincidences, like in any case, right? Like I don't believe like in a string of coincidences just adding up, just things just so happen to make you look guilty, right? Yeah. Like if all these things are just lining up just so perfectly, there's some there. It's not everybody else making up their rushing to judgment,
right?
And everybody else getting the facts wrong,
right? Exactly. So we shall see. I don't know how long this is supposed to go on or if Fanny's going to take. I hope she takes the stand again because she is the best thing that ever happened to my day in a while.
She's like, you're right. She sunk her case because again, the people in Fulton County, the jury pool, right? Even counties are seeing this, and she's turning them against her with that performance.
Yep, she is. She sure is. But yeah, we shall see. We'll keep you guys updated. But as somebody mentioned at the top of the show, today it was also announced that Trump was ordered to pay over $355 million for fraudulent business practices in New York. So basically, he overstated his income to get loans. And they found him basically at fault or, at fault for, causing Deontay, I'm not avoiding your commentary. It's just so long that like I can't stop talking to read the mini novel that you wrote in the comment section. So it's not that I'm avoiding you. Soonie can put them up there for people to see. It's a lot. But anyway, so yeah, he did overstate his income in New York to get these loans. However, I do want to point out that he paid all these loans back. So he hasn't really harmed anybody in this process, but they're trying to get him wherever they can, which is fine. So yeah.
It comes back to the whole spirit of the law and the letter of the law, right?
Yeah.
Technically, is it illegal perhaps to overstate and understate because it's technically fraud? Yes. Do the majority of people do it? Yes. Is it typically enforced? No. Right. And like my whole problem with the whole, if you think back to like the 2016 election and them harping on Trump's bankruptcies, to me, that was the stupidest thing you could do, because he's out there trying to take a risk, trying to start businesses, right? Because businesses do end up in failure. Like majority of first-time businesses end up in failure within the first year, right? And he's out there taking that risk. For you to highlight quote unquote bankruptcies as being failures, that how he can't manage things, is a weak line of attack, because he's out there taking risks, and which a lot of people wish they could do for themselves, and might be in that same situation in which they quote unquote had to file bankruptcy for whatever reason.
Yeah. Look at you defending Trump. I'm proud of you.
I will, because I'm not 100% on board being left, on the left side. Like, I don't prescribe to a lot of the ideology, and like I can see like a lot of the bullshit.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's why I like that you're on, to give your commentary, because I feel like although you are liberal, although you've stated you're going to vote for Joe Biden, just because you don't want to vote.
I don't want to vote for Trump. That's all.
Against Trump. So you're going to vote for Joe Biden.
Yeah.
You're still a logical thinker on a lot of things, and match the whole somewhere in the middle, mentality. Because I feel like a lot of people probably feel the same. Actually, I know a lot of people do. I had a lot of people comment that you really represent like a lot of people. Because not everybody's extreme left or extreme right. Some people are just kind of in the center. So, yeah.
I think I'm more center. I might be center left. Yeah, I'm center left.
Damn it.
Yeah.
It's all right. We'll move you to the right.
Within time. Let me add a few more money, a few more dollars, zeros to my bank account.
Yeah.
Let me get my net worth up a little bit more.
Yeah. Exactly. Anyways, all right. Well, we'll move on, because it's a lot, and I know it's very complicated. And if you haven't been watching it or keeping up with it, it's probably a boring topic. What you got, Soonie?
I'm sorry, what?
What are you laughing at? What? Did I miss something?
I'm just stuck on this. I'm gonna vote for Biden just because I don't like Trump.
Yeah.
Like,
a lot of people think like that.
That's not logic, though. In no way, shape, or form.
It very much is so, because the first time Trump was running, you had lean-in voters, right? That's what Kellyanne Conway was talking about. Lean-in voters, people that publicly did not support Trump, but leaned in the ballot box and said they would support him and voted for him. So you have people who vote more so against candidates that they don't want in office rather than for them.
Right,
I'm not an anomaly. It's not a new thing.
I don't think it's new, but I think the majority of people take their feelings into the voting booth, and that's who cares what you do and don't like. At the end of the day, what's best for the country? If it's Trump, it's Trump. If it's Biden, it's Biden. And if Biden was the best candidate, I would be advocating for people to vote for Biden. But he's not. Biden sucks. And I'm not going to get caught up on this, but like that just like makes no sense to me at all. I don't like Trump, right? I'm not voting, period. I'm not voting for Trump. I'm not voting for Biden. I'm going to participate in my local election, but because I can't support specific things Trump is doing, how would I sound if I'm like, I can't vote Trump, so I'm going to vote Biden, even though I don't think Biden's doing a great job. I damn sure can't give my vote to this guy.
Okay, what state do I live in?
California.
Okay, so do you think my vote for Trump would turn the state red?
I who knows? I'm just talking about.
The state's going to go blue no matter what. California's always going to vote for the Democrat. So
I don't want California to go red.
But whether or not I vote for Joe Biden or Donald Trump in California really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things.
Sure, I'm just questioning the logic behind it. It's not about you flipping your state red or blue or anything behind it. But I'm just questioning the logic behind.
I mean,
why we would vote for another candidate. Like, there's no logic behind that.
But I would say this, okay, and this is not defending what Jaron, because I don't like that he's going to vote for Biden just because he doesn't like Trump. I'm still going to try to like persuade you to like move away or not do what Soonie's doing and just like not vote at all. Um, at least that, okay?
Right.
But, speaking of what Soodie's doing is the same arguments can be made for what you're choosing to do and say, well, I don't understand that logic, right? Like throwing your vote away so that they could potentially steal the vote or steal your empty ballot, doesn't make sense to me either. The great thing about this whole thing is that we all have a choice to vote for who we want to vote for. And, I'm not here to tell anybody how to vote. I would hope that everybody votes thinking about policy and what it is that you believe in, right? So like remove the red, remove the Trump, remove the Biden, remove the left, remove the right, and just say, who is the person that really fits my morals and the policy, and how do their policies align with that? I think that is the best way to tell people to vote versus just going, well, I'm black and I got to vote Democrat, or I don't like Trump, so I got to vote for Biden, right? Like Soonie says, I don't morally stand with the things that Trump, advocates for. So her choice is, I'm just not going to vote because right now there's no candidates that fit her moral beliefs, right? My opinion is, I don't want this country to go down the shithole. And although I don't agree with a lot of stuff or some stuff that Trump does, I don't want to leave my vote on the table. I don't want to vote for Biden. And I do still like Trump, but I do still like what good things he does bring to the table. So that's my choice.
Right. And everybody votes based upon what their perception is of how things currently are. If you think America's in a shithole, then you're going to vote for Trump. If you think things go, if things like having more liberals on the Supreme Court is important, like getting more of whatever you think is more important and it aligns with being on the left, then you'll vote Democrat. It's how you perceive the world and what you think the current state of things are.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to give you a quiz, Jaron, one day. And I'm going to go down and check the boxes to see really where you really are.
I grew up in Orange County. So I was more so conservative growing up.
Yeah.
But then I think what happened is that I started caring a lot about the social issues, especially during college. So I started being more left.
Ah, you went to university. You got your mind poisoned.
I got my mind poisoning in college. But then I think that's what to me, I think now I'm somewhere back in the middle, where I do want my taxes low. I do think that, we need more border security. I agree with the right on a lot of things. I personally just don't like Trump.
Okay, so Jacqueline asked, do you think the economy's in a good place?
For me personally?
Yeah.
It's okay for me.
But was it better at one point?
Honestly,
or you're just not at your breaking point yet?
Things have not. I don't feel a difference under Trump and under Biden. Personally, I'm still making the same amount of money that I made back then.
Really?
Yeah. So for some people, yeah, because when people talk about, I know, for example, my company I work for, we went through another round of layoffs, right? So I know it's affecting people. The ad market is also down. So people aren't spending that discretionary income, right? So other people are being affected by it 100%. Just for me personally, I see it just, it's chill. It's how it's been. So it hasn't impacted me greatly. Things did go up a couple of years ago, when we were coming out of lockdown.
Yeah.
Right. And then I adjusted to it. So I don't know.
But technically, even if, let's just say your salary didn't change, right?
Right.
The fact that the cost of goods is going up, and I know they're going up in California because I used to live there myself. That means that your income is less technically because you're spending more, right?
Yeah. I think what we did now I'm thinking about is that we've adjusted versus where we shop at, right? Like how much we buy, what we buy or where we buy it at. So from that aspect, yeah, we did make changes. For example, my wife would do the grocery. I was there last week doing grocery pickups at Walmart, versus going up the street to Vons, right? So I guess we made those certain adjustments like that.
So you're really adjusting to the economy.
I guess so. But yeah, like I just have like my dad always like instilled in me that like, you know, we're gonna be fine no matter what. Like we'll figure out a way to make things work. Like the people in Washington, left or right, really don't control too much of your own day-to-day life.
Yeah.
Like you figure out how to make things work no matter what.
Yeah. I don't know. I still disagree with you there on that particular topic, but yeah, it is what it is. We'll get you over. We'll get you right. We'll get you right.
Get it.
Anyways, what other topic you got, Soonie?
I came across this funny ass article of hip hop on the Hill. Democrat Jamal Bowman decided he was going to launch this initiative of creating more equity for blacks via hip hop, and they unveiled it as the new hip hop task force. And a lot of what I was reading, I'll pull it up. I don't know where we are as people who share my same skin color, because clearly we don't think alike. This sounds like the most idiotic idea I have ever fucking heard. While I understand what he's saying to an extent, I don't think people live in reality when it comes to the world we live in now. Because this man said, listen, the inspiration behind the task force came from reflecting on how the genre impacted him over the years. Okay. Just let this marinate real quick. The reason he wants to create this is because of how the genre of hip hop has impacted him over the years. Now listen to the artists that he specifically calls out. And I need you guys to fast forward to 2024 and tell me if this sounds like a bright idea to you. Artists like Eric B. and Rakim, Queen Latifah, Chuck D, and Public Enemy inspired the New York lawmaker throughout his life, he said, including during his time as an educator. They were very instrumental in creating a curriculum and blueprint for my life. I don't know if you guys have ever listened to Public Enemy, Eric B. and Rakim, or any of those guys, Queen Latifah.
Yeah.
Go back and listen to the music that they were making back then.
Yeah.
And tell me why we need to bring that even remotely close to 2024. But it gets better. Okay.
Wait a minute.
I owe
like
a lot of
music.
who I am to the lessons that they taught me on and through their music. Hip hop has always been about ending poverty in America.
How?
Anybody smelling the bullshit yet?
How?
Yeah, no, it hasn't.
Okay. This is why I said, listen, I'm not even gonna call him black. Okay. We're gonna go where this is a ghetto show. I'm about to pull my ghetto out. There's a difference between niggas and black people. Okay. There's a lot of niggas in Washington right now who have a sense of power, and the rest of us black people are suffering because they are our representation. Hip hop has always been about ending poverty, cap, about fully funding our public schools, cap. It's always been about justice reform and police reform, cap. Maybe once upon a time with Chuck D,
right,
and what's his name, Flavor Flav, but that ain't what hip hop is no more. And what they were fighting ain't remotely close to what we're fighting. Stop the cap, okay? It's always been about affordable housing. Think about the effects that affordable housing has had on our community. I'm like, do you guys hear what I'm saying? People in the audience, people on Instagram, wherever you're watching from, why are we creating a hip hop task force? And this is what he said he's creating it for. Just look at the verbiage. Look at this verbiage. Democrats unveil hip hop task force to tackle racial inequality.
I am so lost.
That because black people only understand hip hop. That's all we understand. You make a mixtape, you make it out of poverty.
So, but what is the plan exactly? That's what I'm confused about. How are you going? Yeah. What is the plan?
Here's the plan. All right. Artists including Fat Joe, Rick Ross, and Busta Rhymes partnered with Power to the Patients, a film to a public service announcement demanding legislators create more honest, affordable, and equitable healthcare system. Okay?
What?
This is what they want to do.
No
All right. You have groups like the Black Music Action Coalition, BMAC, the Recording Academy, and the Black Music Collective have also joined forces with Bowman and Hank Johnson in Georgia, calling for the passage of the Restoring Artistic Protection Act, which limits the admissibility of an artist's creative or artistic expression against them in the court of law. I'm sorry, but if you are dumb enough to put your crimes in music, then you should be prosecuted. If that is evidence and you're rapping about it, then it is what it is.
That's what Fani did to Young Thug. they played his lyrics in court for real.
Did they really?
Yes, they played his songs in court.
Damn.
So pretty much what they're doing is they are winning the culture war again, because we as Black folks, okay, Malcolm X said this. So this ain't my words. Malcolm X said that we are political chumps because we're fucking emotional and we are immature when it comes to politics. We're not educated enough. We don't understand it. It is not our realm. We don't have a seat at the table because we have not asked or demanded one. We are not leaders in our own communities. This appeals to a voter who is like, ooh, hip hop, ooh, my favorite artist. And then they're going to be talking about politics that I don't quite understand, because affordable healthcare, where? I can't afford freaking healthcare.
It's kind of like when Cardi B was hopping on her Instagram live trying to talk politics.
And Candace Owens respectfully told her to stay in your lane, bitch.
Yeah.
Stay in your lane, won't be no traffic.
Is Sexy Red hip hop?
I was about to say, well, no, she's ratchet.
Okay, because if she's hip hop, then I can get behind this. Put more Sexy Reds out there.
You have a Sexy Red bias. Yeah. Okay, but I'm still confused. How is healthcare and hip hop tied together?
Because it brings votes. That's what this is, just to garner attention from the Black community, to gain votes for these specific candidates. It is what it is. If there's a candidate who is supporting this hip hop task force, it's just like Beyoncé and Jay-Z did with Hillary Clinton. I got hot sauce in my bag, swag, right? And then you had a whole bunch of Black people that were like, that was kind of funny. But then you had niggas. I'm sorry. There's a difference. You had niggas. That's funny, man. We got to vote for her. And then you got Black people over here like, excuse me, do you really think this is how you relate to me? There hot sauce in your bag?
And like you said, there was a point in time, in which hip hop did talk about cultural issues, right? Like, I mean, look at NWA specifically here in LA, right? Like, they were addressing the inequities that we saw within, the Black community, within the streets, right? Like how people were treated. But it's gone so far from that now that this is just a play to get that certain type of voter.
So I'm still fucking lost. Maybe because I'm not Black, I don't get it. But are we going to do away with lyrics? Are we going to do away with lyrics like, I'm out of town thugging with my rounds, my coochie pink, my booty hole brown.
Yeah.
Where the end's at? I'm looking for the hose. Quit playing and come suck a bitch toes. Are we going to get rid of those lyrics?
Nope.
Well, they are, because he specifically named Megan Thee Stallion being somehow brutalized and victimized by Tory Lanez. They outright say, I'm going to pull it up. Look, like I said before, I get sensitive about this topic because I do not control my own image, whether I like it or not. There is a stereotype that is always going to be plastered upon me because of how lackadaisical Black people are. Like, look at this. They're outright telling you why they're doing this. The result is, right, because there is a lack of communication between politics and culture and community, all being brought together. This is something the right suffers from. They even say it. The result is less voter turnout and overall less interaction between legislators and the community. the task force can begin to rebuild that trust as they urge voters of color to trust the process and cast their ballots come November. So don't think about what you're voting for. Don't think about who you're voting for. Just focus on the fact that this is a hip hop task force and this culture relates to you. And these artists are going to come on stage with us and say, hey, vote for such and such. Like I said before, this has nothing to do with creating equity and everything to do with them garnering more votes.
It's the equivalent of saying that people just cling to guns in the Bible, right? Remember when Obama said that? But was it 2012? Saying that, you know, people on the right just cling to guns in Bibles. This is the equivalent of that, right? Just dumbing down essentially people, like what we're doing to ourselves, dumbing down people just to the lowest common denominator, thinking that, like, instead of putting people like Robert Smith, right, like the black billionaire businessman, like, you know, putting him out in forefront to relate to people, right, to if you're talking about getting out of poverty, doing things like that, put people like him to the forefront. Why do you have to dumb it down?
You talking about you ain't talking about fudge packing Rob Smith, are you?
Are you talking about gay Rob Smith, the Republican?
No.
Oh, okay.
Wait. Is he?
He's like an influencer?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, because this guy's married to a former Playmate of the Year, Robert F. Smith.
Oh, okay.
He's like worth like $9 billion, something like that. But like people like him, right? But we have this thing in which we want to just glorify hip hop culture, thinking that, you know, when we see people out there throwing money up in music videos, that's how life should be.
Mm-hmm.
And that's getting out of poverty.
Well,
but
I'll tell you,
there's a follow-up to this.
We ain't doing the community, as Lopez would say, any favors by showcasing people like Fani Willis in this bill.
There's a follow-up to this. Republicans have responded. And this is why the pendulum will forever swing back and forth, and there is no real effort to change anything. You want to know what Republicans did?
What'd they say?
My screen.
No, not yet.
Hold on.
Oh, I see it.
No, they didn't. This isn't for real.
This is for real. This is not this is not a joke. This is for real. And I'm just gonna play it. I want you guys to see this.
I kind of like that. That's kind of funny. Oh Lord!
As long as we can get Nancy Pelosi back in a kente cloth, then I will.
Oh.
I think that's pure relation right there.
Oh man! On the cover of the next CD,
shit like that. It's just like, right? She should be like on Ebony's person of
right.
the year. Right. It's obvious pandering, and it's sad to see that that's how they want to boil down the black vote into doing stupid stuff like this right here, like the kente cloth moment, like this right here. You know what I mean? Like with this hip hop task force.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true. Oh Lord. Who put that together? Who actually posted that? Because it said CBS at the end. Like CBS actually played that.
That's Fox News.
Oh, wow.
It's probably, if it's CBS, probably like Colbert.
It is. Actually, it is Colbert, the late night show.
Yeah.
Who's this person? Jersey Watcher. Do you want to interview me? I beat a very famous predator catcher case in New Jersey. What? Send an email to somewhere in the middle USA@gmail.com. If you got a story for us, a lead.
You understand me, brother. I'm gonna try to remove myself. I try to remove my feelings and emotions from it, but I can't. I've got kids. My kids ain't grown. My kids are still young. My kids are still very much so easily. They're going to be easily influenced because I'm not going to always be there. They're going to grow up. They're going to have friends that they interact with. And this is what we're handing our children. We can laugh. It's funny. I didn't find it funny, but I'm not taking that away from y'all. Laugh. But this is what both political factions are taking their time to do. They're not actually trying to go out into these communities and do something. We are dollar signs and votes to them every 2 to 4 years. and then we sit and cry. We sit and cry about where this country is. This is why. Everything's a joke. Let's laugh. Let's kiki. Let's not actually take the voting process serious. Let's not take who's in power serious. Let's all live life. And then when shit hits the fan and it comes knocking at your front door, then you want to do the boo-hoo and the crying. And how do we get here? We got here because we are complacent. We're complacent. Democrats are getting away with crazy shit. And I hope we talk about this California bill that could pave the way for free tuition for Black students as well. I really hope we talk about that next. If you don't have anything, Mo.
Yeah, go ahead. No, talk about it because it segues in from the same kind of subject.
Well, California is working on a bill. Uh-oh. Can you take over real quick? We got disconnected from Instagram.
Oh. California is working on a bill. Do I have it up here? It is California Assembly passes ACA. See, it says here that they passed ACA 7 in September 12, 2023, significant step towards addressing inequities. So basically, this is, I'm trying to find like the, so ACA 7 will allow California to directly combat disparities by allowing the governor to issue waivers to public entities that wish to use state funds for evidence-based or research-informed culturally specific programs to increase life expectancy, improve educational outcomes, and lift specific ethnic groups and marginalized genders out of poverty, basically by qualifying them for more loans and grants through tuition assistance. What I thought was interesting, are you back up, Soonie?
1 second. I'm listening though. I can hear you.
Okay. What I thought was interesting was I pulled up this National Center for Education Statistics, and this is from 2019, so it's not like the most current, right? But it kind of matters because in 2019 was before this bill was actually passed. Basically, they passed it because they felt like there was a need to pass it. But you can see here in this chart that Blacks received the most grants and the most loans. Second on the grants would be Native Americans and Alaska Natives. And on the loans, it would be white people with loans, right? So I said to Soonie, I was really confused with why they felt the need to create such a proposal. And Soonie's like, well, this is just another pandering. So
you miss like this next key part of this whole thing. It says the bill will effectively allow Newsom to circumvent the state's longstanding ban on racial preferences, first passed by a majority of voters in 1996 on Prop 209. Essentially, Prop 209 is saying that it prohibited the UC system and other state entities from using race, ethnicity, or like sexual orientation as criteria for selection, right? And that was also reaffirmed in 2020. So again, the will of the voters was that this right here, not you essentially got rid of affirmative action in California when it came to college selections in the UC system.
Right.
And this is a way to get around that for what reason?
Yeah. And that's what I said to Soonie. I'm like, is this to basically replace that? That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah. And I have no, like, it's a great idea. Make the community colleges free for everybody. You know, like you want to get a higher education, go to community college, let that be state subsidized. But that's where
Trump wanted to do that.
Hey, he should have. he should have done it.
He's creating the Trump University, don't you know?
Oh. Is it bankrupt again?
No, it hasn't even started.
Okay.
You back up, Soonie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I mean, we agree. What you just said was what I was going to say. And in essence, like, I am not against, and this is going to be a hot take, but I'm not against discrimination. I don't think everyone deserves a seat at the table. If you haven't got there based on merit, then you just don't get to go. It's that simple. I think it would incentivize more of a competitive nature. You're not helping blacks by handing them a handout and said, here goes this free school to this mediocre community college that you're probably really not even going to take serious, because how many of us have education push in our homes, if we're being realistic? Not very many.
And if you're being like, not saying you're not being realistic, but like realistically speaking, right? Like if you're in that situation in which a lot of people do not come out of that environment looking to go to college, because oftentimes you might have to get a job to help support the family, right? So like, does this make sense? Like you're, because a lot of people that, not that I know, but like we've discussed or talked about, their first instinct was to go and help provide for the family right out of high school rather than go to college. Not saying that they didn't want to go to college, but a lot of times, you know, whatever the circumstances are called for that.
Right.
I don't know, man. I spent a significant portion of my life in these inner city neighborhoods, and we wasn't trying to take care of nobody's house. Like, we weren't looking to, oh, I got to step up and contribute. Nah, it was, school was not pushed in my house. You either go get a state job or join the military. That's what was pushed. Or you play basketball until you get a scholarship. That's it. My mother never helped me with FAFSA. My mother never asked. You know, the most she did was take my name and put some bills in my name, but that also was not asked of me. It was just done. So I'm just going to be real. The majority of our homes are not setting the youth up for success. They're not. They're not setting them up for success. They're not setting them up in preparation of this world. We grow up as victims. We stay victims until adulthood, unless we're smart enough to pick up a book and read something outside of what we're taught. But usually, most of us fit the mold and keep going with the narrative. But I don't know many black people that I grew up with, family, friends, anybody surrounding me, that didn't go to school because they had to stay home and help the household. Show me where they at. Now, that sounds like a reality once upon a time, but we are very privileged in this country. We are the one of the very few races of people that get scholarships based on race, extra points on the SAT because we're black, preferential treatment because we're black. What more do we need besides a swift kick in the ass? I don't believe in the whole pull yourselves up by your bootstraps, right? Because not everybody has bootstraps. But we're also not handing people a mindset of, you can go out and do this. We're just coddling them and saying, well, the world is hard for you because you're black, and you don't have a dad in the home, so you're probably going to have to step up and help mom. No, mom needs to help herself and not require kids to step up and replace the absence of a man. I'm just done. I'm done with the circle jerking. I think people need to call a spade a spade. We got shit fucked up, and it's because of the disruption in the natural order in life that we are where we are. My personal opinion. I'm a product of it, which is why I am so close to this subject, because had there not been somebody to tell me this, I would be like the majority of black people in this country, lost, dazed, and confused without an identity. I'm glad somebody told me the truth, whether I wanted to hear it or not.
So how does a community get out of that?
It starts with an individual person. It's not a collective thing. It starts with a Deontay, and then people like the right and Republicans uplifting folks like that to say, hey, there is an opposite side over here. Here are these people. We don't do that. We don't attack culture. We want to uplift one type of person and one type of person only. You can't reach communities doing that.
Yeah. I guess I don't know. I just feel like many subjects, this just goes around and around and around. This particular set. This is why when it comes to like the race things, I hate it, because I feel like it's like a never ending cycle of a conversation that just goes around and around and around. And there's like nobody that really there's plenty of people that want to comment on it either way, but nobody really wants to like say, I mean, I get that it's like a individual sport, right? To pull yourself, like you said, up from your bootstraps. But it doesn't help. Like the same thing that we say, like for the Candaces and the Brandon, it doesn't help when people continue to just talk about the degeneracy. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, I just feel like you would stay in that mindset forever because that's what you're being shown about your community constantly.
Yeah, that's why I said they need to uplift people like me. I don't promote degeneracy. They need to uplift people like Deontay. Whether I agree with Jaron or not, they need to uplift people like him. He's someone who's willing to have a discussion. We can't keep doing the same thing. Now, if I was home, it would be a different story. I want to travel. I want to host forums. I want to have discussions like this on stages in front of Black youth. They can run me up out of there. I don't care. But I bet you one of them is going to leave saying, damn, bro, she said some real shit, or damn, Deontay said something that made me think. That's what it comes down to. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. We didn't get here overnight. It took a long time for things to end up the way they did. And we're not ever going to go backwards. I think that's a pipe dream. But I'm going to go down fighting, whether people think it's a noble cause or not. Because there's a million Soonies out there. There's a million. There's a million Deontays out there growing up in the system that don't have any role models, bro. Our role models are on TV.
And believe it or not, I just want to say, I'm sorry, Jaron. Believe it or not, though, and I'm saying this because I personally know a handful of Black people that didn't come from a one-parent home, that came from a good environment, that went to college, that that is the picture of success because they wanted it, right? Like they didn't fall victim to some mentality. So I guess like even saying things like, oh, there's people like you and there's people like Jaron and there's people like Deontay, like it kind of makes it seem like this freak of nature that people like you exist. There, I think that's more the general population of most.
You're talking about people who grew up in a 2-parent home, people who had the mindset to go to school, people who had the mindset to do better. That's not something that was taught. That's not something that's taught in the majority of Black homes. All you got to do is turn on the TV, and then go to these homes that don't have what you're talking about and listen to their conversations.
But
they're not having these fruitful discussions.
But I feel like the TV is the worst place to get the information because the TV only wants to show the single parent homes, the degeneracy. You see what I'm saying? But like I said, I have several friends that are Black and I talk, I know their families. I've talked to them. Some of them I've grown up with, and that's just my sampling. But I mean, I'm sure there's more.
I think it's something that we do to ourselves. Like, I don't know. So, have you ever been called a white girl before? Or say you speak white, Soonie?
I have. Because I was bullied so fucking hard, I decided that I'm just going to be ratchet like the rest of you.
Yeah. But who was saying that to you though?
Black people.
And that's it. Like we do, like I've been called white boy so many times because of the way I speak, right? From other Black people. So, and then that makes you think you have to fit into that sexy red mold or like just like give into that ratchetness because you want to be included in the in crowd, right? Like, because you don't want to be an other. So like, no, we are those exceptions because of the fact that we've been called out by our own race when it comes to that. And a lot of people will fall victim, I guess, to wanting to fit in and give into that, like, that mentality.
It takes a lot to stand out and be ostracized. I think that this is, it is, Candace Owens said it. This is an experience that is very singular to Black people. Number one, you have history since the day you're born telling you that this is not your homeland. You don't belong here. That creates an agitation and anger in people. It does. When you have history, politicians, we don't know where you came from. We don't even know your language of origin. We don't know any of this. But here you are, and this is what we're going to give you. Nothing but slavery, nothing but traumatic history. How many people actually leave that? It is deep. It's deeply rooted and embedded in homes, bro. Like, it's not the TV. These people watch the TV, and it negatively reinforces that mindset for sure. But I agree with you. It is scary and it's hard to stand out by yourself, bro, solo, and have people call you coons, bedwenches. Like, that shit hurts.
And as much as I don't
not anymore, but that shit hurts.
I don't like Candace Owens, I will never call her that. Like, I won't resort to calling her, saying she's a sellout, whatever, because like ultimately that you're a black person of a different opinion, which I'm cool with, right?
Facts.
For you to call somebody's quote unquote blackness or revoke your black card because they don't agree with you or they don't prescribe to your point of view is ridiculous. And we do it to ourselves.
I'm not being dramatic. It's fucking PTSD, bro. Unless you've experienced it, it's just not something that you can understand. I have this conversation with my husband all the time. He doesn't get it. He's much like you. Well, I know black people that have done this, done that. I do too, but that wasn't my reality. How can I take someone else's reality, attach it to mine, and automatically my mind is going to morph because you're telling me that there's somebody out there that exists like this? That's not how it worked for me. I needed somebody to say, you really don't have to think this way. Have you considered this? Just a quick story. Do you know that I would get offended when someone would ask me, if it was a white person, what are your goals? That was offensive to me. What the fuck you mean? What are my goals? I have goals like everybody else. I want to do this. I want to do that. Because I was so inundated and indoctrinated with, if a white person is asking you specific questions and they come from a certain political background, then you automatically get defensive. Because what you asking me that for? That's how deep rooted it was in me. It didn't matter that they were actually just like, hey, what are you going to do? It was like, you obviously think I have no goals, which is why you're asking me this question. What do you mean? What are my goals?
Mine was, what do your parents do for work?
You said that last show.
Yeah. That was the biggest thing because we grew up in Orange County, right? And like we were the only black family there, so it was like, what do your parents do for work? Automatically took offense to that because I'm like, well, we can't.
I went to an all-white school and almost died because I had to go there for 1 year. I felt so out of my element. I am surrounded by all these people who don't understand me. We don't even live in the same neighborhoods. I got bused to this school, and I'm having to interact with people that don't understand. I don't have a dad to go home to, and that was something that was deep rooted in me. It created resentment. That's what I'm saying. It's deeper than it being a black thing. It's I resented people who had a 2-parent home. That was not common for me. That did not exist. Every home in my family that once upon a time had a 2-parent home ended in divorce. I am the only person married in my family. That speaks volumes. My family is headed by women, nothing but women. There are no strong male role models anywhere in my family. It doesn't exist. Even my stepfather, he was weak. My mom ruled with the fucking iron fist.
So wait, are you saying that like not the majority, not all, but the majority of black people grow up angry?
Yes. No, of course it's not all.
Yeah.
Of course it's not all.
But you're saying the majority? Are you
Look
saying
at the why did the majority of blacks still vote fucking Democrat? Why are they still mad at slavery? That has nothing to do with me, but I still harbored resentment towards a history that I didn't experience until I had to check myself. Like, bro, that's stolen valor. You didn't go through that. How are you mad about you didn't get beat? Nobody told you couldn't go to the water fountain. I can respect it.
Right.
I'm happy that somebody fought so that didn't exist anymore. But I had anger about that for no reason.
Wow. Jaron, what did your parents do?
Shut up. Shut up. but since we're on this, you mind if I like divert for a second? Because since we were talking about education, right? Like the biggest joke to me, here's a rant, is the United Negro College Fund. The biggest fucking joke, right? Because the slogan is "a mind is a terrible thing to waste." Like you want to help young black people go to college. If I'm a black person getting into Stanford, right? Because that's like, a premier school in California. 99.9% chances are that they will not support me going to Stanford. I can have, you know, a 5.0 GPA. I can be excelling on my SAT scores, right? They will not give you money for that. Instead, they want you to go to HBCU.
HBCUs, exactly.
And that's what they directly want to fund is that. So like, if you're all about somebody, you know, excelling educationally, why not support them in those endeavors? Why do you want to hamstring them in a way, quote unquote, to make them go to the school of your choosing? So that's my rant. I think the, you know, again, going back to we do it to ourselves, that like the United Negro College Fund is a complete waste.
I didn't even know that still existed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was huge when I was a kid.
Yeah, it was huge when I was a kid too, but
yeah, it's still around, and they still do the same thing. They've been doing it for years. They will not support you going to a school other than an HBCU. Not saying those are bad schools to go to, but again, you look at if somebody gets into a premier school, a premier program, why not support them going there? If you're really about education, really about people making it out, you know, like education is a great equalizer, and support people in those endeavors.
I said F college, and I went and got a whole bunch of certifications. And school wasn't school. What? I ain't going to school. I was about to join the military.
But you grew up like, and there's nothing bad about, like, I'm not saying anything bad how you grew up, Soonie, how there was no emphasis placed on education, like going to college in your family, because in practicality, you can make a lot more money getting certificates, going into trades, right? Like you can, I know people like that are HVAC technicians. You don't go to college for that, but they're pulling in great money. Like I guess we have this thing in which we place all this emphasis on education, saying that that's the only way for you to get ahead, rather than teaching practical skills that can also help you out in the long run.
I remember that too.
Don't be a fool, stay in school. That was another slogan.
That was cool.
Yeah. See, Jaron didn't tell us what his parents does. That means his dad's like my dad. He works for the government, the state, or the State Department. That's what they like to say.
Is that's a dead giveaway?
Yeah, that's what when you like work for the CIA, you can't say I work for the CIA. You have to say I work for the State Department.
say you're a manager. I'm in management. That's it.
Oh yeah. Or I'm a consultant. That's the other one.
Yeah.
I'm a consultant. Yeah. I know you grew up rich, Jaron.
I did. I did. I did. But my parents also, at the same time, my parents grew up. My dad is from Compton. My mom is from Southeast San Diego, right? So they didn't grow up like that. But they always kept us rooted.
But they worked hard like everybody.
but they also kept us rooted in like, this is where we came from. This is where you came from. You came from this. You didn't come from Orange County. You came from here, right? And so like I can just drive around, you know, Watts, whatever. I took my wife there the other day, just driving around, just having fun. Like I'm comfortable in those situations, comfortable in those environments because of the fact that like, that's who my family is.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. That like they never gave us that whole like, move away from here and then like all of a sudden you're better than everybody else.
You know what's crazy about that? So I grew up, you know, I was born in Chicago, lived on the south side of Chicago, like in the worst part of the neighborhood, and moved from there when I was, I want to say like 9 or 10. But in my family, I would say is well off, right? But they did not come from money. They worked hard. My dad grew up super poor. You know, was one of those people that like had to join the Marines because that was his only option to get out of out of Puerto Rico, right? Oh, your dad was a Marine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Navy.
So, but my parents never like kept like our family that was like from that, you know, like that was still in those neighborhoods. They never kept that from me. So like I'm very comfortable. Like if you take me to the hood, like I'm not one of those people that's like clutching my purse or anything like that. Like I'm very, very comfortable around anybody because my parents never were like, oh, you know, now that we're living in a nicer neighborhood, like we just that other side we just don't we don't mess with.
Yeah.
Really?
That ain't what you're gonna be doing. No. You're gonna go to school, you're gonna go to church, you're gonna bring your ass home. You're not running the streets. You're not gonna be hanging out with that bad element. That I don't know. It just wasn't something that I was allowed to do. Now I did it anyway. That's what was comfortable for me.
Yeah.
I would never take my kids to the hood. There's nothing there that you need to experience because I didn't experience anything good. For what?
I mean, I don't take my kids to the hood. Don't get it twisted. I don't be like,
wouldn't
hey.
even tell them that that's where you come from.
Oh, I for sure do. No, because they need to know. They need to know. Yeah, they need to know where their mom came from. That's not anything. And I'm not going to say I'm from the hood. I grew up on the south side of Chicago, and I lived in the hood. But we had a very nice, like little, like a little apartment, like a little brownstone, little walk up townhome. Like it was not. I don't remember my childhood being like super poor, but I guess like if you look at it, we were kind of poor. Like before my dad started, finished college and started a job. My parents would like eat a sack lunch every day and go to the park. Like they couldn't afford anything. They couldn't afford anything. My dad was dirt poor. Had a very terrible life. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not ashamed of any of that. So of course I share with my kids. If I don't share it, somebody will.
I just refuse to introduce them to that. That's not their life. That's not their reality.
Right.
They're going to see where I come from through me. Like I'm still very much so ratchet. That ain't never going nowhere. I say ain't. I throw slang around. They can see it in my interactions with my family. Look, I took my kids to my family's house and they were fucking mortified. Mortified. That I can recognize what that did to them. They were just like, bro, where are we? Okay, I can recognize that wasn't a good thing to do. I'm not, nah. We can meet up. Y'all guys can come visit. Say what's up. But I'm not going to put my kid in that environment, especially because there's nothing positive there.
How old were they when you brought them?
You may have a different experience than me. But when there's drugs and there's alcohol and there's drug dealers in and out, and this is a reality. This is what people embrace. I'm never putting my kid anywhere near that for them to see, okay, well, this is kind of where mom came from. No.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't put my kids around that. But like, I mean, I have brought my kids to my family's houses that isn't the nicest thing, right? Like they're clearly not, they're struggling. Obviously there's no illegal activity going on there.
I told you about it. But remember when I went home?
Yeah. I remember the story. And I agree with you. Like I would agree with you. Like I would not bring my child around drugs and illegal activity and gangs and all this other stuff. But what I'm saying is like my kids need to know where we came from. They need to know that like it wasn't always great. You know what I mean? Like they have a great life. My life wasn't always like that. They see how their grandparents live now, but that's not how they lived back when I was, young. Now, obviously, when we left Chicago, it was different. But yeah, I've seen both sides. I'm grateful for it.
Guys, I got to go take my wife to dinner now.
Oh, okay. Pregnancy calls. I got you.
Thank you for a great show. And last thing before I go, another reason I'm voting for Joe Biden is because if he loses, I can say, fuck you all, I voted for Joe Biden. So that's it. That's all.
I got news for you. He's gonna lose. He better lose.
No, I'm not talking about to you. So I'm just saying, like, anybody who complains. I'm like, well, I voted for Biden. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I did my part. I did my civic duty, and that's it. Bye.
It's all right. We're gonna have, me and Soonie have what we call a hoe outreach.
I'm going to press you every time you say this, man.
We're going to reach out to you. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Come through. I'll be waiting for the mission, the outreach trip.
All right. Have fun at dinner with the wifey.
Thank you. See you next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Mo is a square.
I'm gonna vote for Joe just to spite.
Soonie.
No.
Soonie, tell these people, because you know my stories. If anybody's a square out of the two of us, it's Soonie. She's square. Yes.
Because you rebelled. They're not talking about you being a square in that sense. That's completely different.
What are they talking about? What do they mean?
In terms of like, it's just a different experience. We didn't have the same background. We clearly didn't come from the same type of family.
Mm-hmm.
So when I say I'm damn sure not introducing my kids to it, because you didn't come from that. You don't understand that. You're like, no, kids need to know, like, this is where your grandparents came from. This is where you came from. This is the origin story. I'm not doing that. And that's just my perception of why he's saying it, because I don't think you being a rebellious teenager.
But that's exactly why you're the
makes
square
you
and I'm
not a
not.
square.
That's why you're the square and I'm not, because I would take my kids to the corner store where I grew up. I would. My kids would be good. My kids would be good.
I'm good. Bullets ain't got no name. I don't need to take my kids anywhere.
Exactly. Square.
Be a square. I'm cool with that. At least
Dude, I was hella bad. Only every two or three words coming through.
Nobody else is complaining about this. Is anybody else having a hard time hearing me?
No, I can hear you just fine. I can hear you just fine. Well, damn. We didn't get Jaron wanted to talk about Beyonce's album and Kanye's. I think something about Kanye. I don't remember what he wanted to talk about with Kanye.
Mike is dropping in and out. I don't know, man. I'm right here. Is this better?
It sounds fine.
I go
to me.
in and out sometimes. Is this better? Can you guys hear me? I guess I turned the gain up.
Huh. I don't know what to tell them.
How about now? Good? Can you hear me now?
Is it like the proximity to the mic, maybe?
Perfect. That's perfect now. Well, I have soundproofing in my room. I don't really know why.
A loose wire.
No. I keep my shit up to par.
It got better than faded again. I mean, it is like it's not in and out. I mean, I think it's just your voice, because your voice goes kind of lower.
How about now?
Right there, it sounds hella clear.
Sounds really clear. But when I watch those back, I never noticed that I'm going in and out. I think it's just there's noise cancellation on my mic, and my room is filled with soundproofing. So maybe, I don't know. But I think everyone heard what they needed to hear when I was talking. Hearing y'all childhood stories made me like y'all more.
Why is that? You didn't like us before?
Because you have to be able to relate to people. I feel that. I don't like listening to somebody I can't relate to or learn from. Like, if I feel like you're just selling me wolf tickets, what?
Wolf
I don't
tickets?
want to listen to you talk no more.
What the hell are wolf tickets? That's like an old saying. What
is it?
What does that mean?
Is it really an old saying? How about now? Sorry.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I've been liking y'all. It just makes more sense now, especially with Soonie. Oh, you like Soonie because you grew up around drugs and shootings.
First of all, don't put that out there. That was the environment. That was definitely the environment, but that's not what was in my home. My mother didn't play that. My mom kept me away from that side of my family, but I was so enamored by it that I wanted to go over there 24/7. I wanted to be with my cousins that were doing certain things. That's what I gravitated towards. She did her best. I think my mom did the best she could with the tools that she was given, but because that's all I'm around, this is what my cousins are doing on my mom and my dad's side. It was kind of hard for her to shield me from that. I'm a little ratchet. Erica knows. Look, people who have been with me in real life, they understand my vibe, bro. I am quiet. I am an observer. That's just my nature. But I didn't see some shit. There's no point in bragging about it because it wasn't a good experience. It sucked. That's why I said there's a bunch of black folks walking around angry.
She said you're ratchet.
Yeah. I don't know. Like she sent me an acronym a few months ago. And it was just a bunch of letters. and it said only black people from the hood will understand this.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me 2 seconds to understand what she was saying. And I think I responded back like, man, like shut the F up, or like just the ways we talk to each other. And she was like, dang, the fact that you knew what I was saying is crazy. Because there's just a shared experience that people who have gone through that or have been around it, they understand what I'm saying. If you ain't been through that and you ain't been around it, then you're not going to understand. And that's not to be like, you're not a part of the club. It's just a shared experience that not everybody, you don't get to experience that. And I'm glad, because who wants to?
Right. So Erica experienced the same life you did?
I would say to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
But Erica did have both of her parents for a while. I never had that. It's the surroundings is what we relate on.
Mm-hmm.
There's certain, like, we relate more on the level of, my mom was very much so in the church. Mm-hmm. My mother was a lukewarm Christian, but I was in church Monday through Sunday doing something, you know? And like I said, she did the best she could. She did not encourage that type of behavior. My mom, dude, if I were to go drink, if I were to go to the ABC store, because that's what our liquor store is called in North Carolina, and I come back and I'm like, I just want to sip on something. My mom's gonna be like, you bringing these wines and spirits in my house. That's what happens when you drink liquor. You act crazy. People get demonic. If I smoke weed, I can't. She just gets super dramatic and extra. She can't stand the smell of weed, so she doesn't like that environment.
Yeah,
her father was a drunk growing up. My mother grew up in the projects. That was not something that she was going to encourage.
Yeah,
upon me, but she was a product of her environment, and because of that, I was a product of my environment. But the buck stops here, and I refuse to ever showcase any of that to my kids. The most I do is like, you have great parents. I didn't have both my parents. We talk. What I tell my kids, but that's where it stops. They don't need to know that your cousin is the biggest drug dealer in the city. They don't need to know that.
Why not? That's probably a good story.
That's what? That ain't a good story.
That's the fun cousin.
See that right? No, he's not. He's a drug dealer.
See, that's the cousin I'd keep in touch with. I don't know about you.
Nah, bro.
But wait, let me ask you a question. So have your kids seen you ever smoke on your pet, like weed? Like, do they smell that?
They see it, but they don't know what it is. They think it's like, oh, mom's smoking a cigarette.
But at some point, like, they're gonna know what the smell is, right? Like, do you ever?
There's no smell.
Oh, the pen doesn't have a smell. Oh, okay.
Ask Erica. My kids would fall under the same category as Jaron does. They speak with proper vernacular. If they were ever around that element of people, they would be like, "Why you talk like you're white? How come you don't want to go out and do bad stuff? You don't want to sneak out. You don't want to disobey your parents." That would be my kids, because they are not around that.
Yeah. Marlandon says, I hope I'm saying that right, Marlandon. If people like Candace Owens and Brandon Tatum was like y'all, I swear more people would like and support them and not feel like they only talk about the same stuff and degrade Black people. Yeah, I mean, we talk about everything. We talk about everything on here. Sometimes
talk shit to Black people, shoot.
But you know what though? Sometimes we're a little Candace-ish. Sometimes we're a little Brandon-ish, right? Sometimes we're just Soonie and Mo. Like, we have our own personalities. I don't understand why everybody compares conservative people to these two. I mean, and Brandon is my friend, and I love Brandon. I know him personally. He's a great person. But I don't understand why everybody gets compared to that as this,
because they are the representatives for Black conservatism. That's why I said earlier, if they were to uplift anybody outside of that stereotype, the Republicans and the right would be competing in culture. That's why it's cringe for you to make us let's make fun of the hip hop initiative instead of being like, well, actually, let's discuss this. Like, host a forum, have a conversation with these people. What are you actually trying to do? That way you can actually combat a narrative. That's just me. Thank you. If my son, he hears me say cap. So he was trying to say cap. And I said, absolutely not, sir. That is not proper English. So that's just one area. Like, you're not going to be talking like that. It's already in me. I don't think I can ever get rid of that. As much as I want to, as much as I try, I always revert back to like lazy language. And my husband calls me out for it all the time. You need to stop talking like that, or these kids are going to grow up and think that's appropriate. I can't help it. See,
so Kyle doesn't talk like that at all. He's very like by the book English.
Yes.
No slang.
Sure. We're very different. We are very different. We just think we complement each other in different ways, but we have completely different backgrounds. Not even close to being the same.
Yeah. I know that. I know that you guys are from different backgrounds. So, yeah. Huh.
He talks like a white boy. That's my husband. When he tries to speak slang, I'm like, it sounds so odd to me when he does.
Does it sound awkward? What does it sound like? Like, imitate him really quick.
I can't. I don't
like
even.
If he said stop the cap.
Yeah,
how would you say
I would be like, that's how he would say it, just like you said it. Like, it sounds odd when you say it.
Well, I just said it like that because I was like
when I say y'all got money over there.
Oh yeah.
And you try to say y'all got money over there.
I can't say it. I know. I say y'all got money over there. You say over. Oh, what is it? Oh, over there. And I'm like, over there. And I'm like, y'all got money over there? I'm like all cute about it. Like, I'm just like, hey.
Like, one time I caught myself saying both of them. And I think we were like, how do you spell that?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. I'm saying both of them. I'm just not enunciating both of them. I'm saying both of them. Or birthday. Most people say birthday.
Right.
I say birthday. Or I don't say teeth. I say teeth. Did you brush your teeth?
What is it? Spell it teeth. Teeth with an F.
TEFF. Teeth.
Teeth.
But it feels awkward for me to enunciate every single word that comes out of my mouth because I'm not used to speaking that way. See, it doesn't even sound natural.
That's so weird because like I swear that's how I hear you all the time. Like, yeah, every once in a while, like you get North Carolina on me, but like I hear you normal all the time.
We're
like,
in front of a camera where I have to represent.
No,
both
I'm
of
talking
us.
about when we're talking on the phone. Like, there's sometimes like when you get ratchet on me, but like I'm saying most of the time you're just talking like normal. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm not paying attention.
I think you're used to it because you used to call me out all the time.
Yeah.
Like when I said, me and Bryson say this, why come? You were like, Soonie, why are you talking like that?
Oh, like, dude, I hate that. I hate why come. That is so ignorant. That is so ignorant.
See, you're getting flashbacks.
Why come?
All of them, both of them. See, 50, 11 of them. See, Erica, understand me.
50, 11. What? What's UBN? What is that? Okay, wait. Say the whole thing. 50, 11.
You're saying of them, but you're not enunciating of them.
Oh,
you're saying all of them.
50, 11 of them. Dude, I couldn't be like that if I tried. All of them, both of them.
All of them, both of them. Yeah. Like I don't say to, I say to.
What?
Welcome to somewhere in the middle. I don't say to.
You say welcome to.
And I don't really say the. It's just like welcome to somewhere in the. You know what's funny? My husband was like, "Can you say welcome to somewhere in the middle?" And I was saying it, and he was like, "No, say the." And I was like, "I am." And he was like, "Okay, now say to." And I kept saying it the same way. He was like, "Wow, you really can't say the."
What?
No,
that's crazy.
Welcome to somewhere in the middle.
I guess the only time like I mispronounce things is because like I think I've said this before, but like in my head, sometimes I say things in Spanish before they come out of my mouth in English.
Yeah.
So like the way that they're said in Spanish, like sometimes I get confused, basically. I'm like, how do you say this?
Like to me, you sound like a white girl.
Yeah. I get that a lot.
You sound like you're straight from California.
Because I am straight. I mean, I consider myself Californian.
Okay.
Yeah. Because that's where I grew up. Most of my time was in California.
Listen.
So I had that like little valley girl. But being in Texas, though, you know, you pick up that Texas stuff too.
Texas ain't the South. Y'all
like
need to know
Texas, when I first came here and somebody like you would say something and somebody didn't understand, so they wanted you to repeat it. They would say, "Do what?" And I was like, "What do you mean? What?
Yeah, do what?"
I was like, "What do you want me to do? Do what?" It took me.
See, that's another thing. My husband gets mad when you don't put T. Not mad, but he's like, "Can you please put a T on the end of that?" I don't say what. I say what?
What? Like
or
W-U-T. White?
Well, I don't say white.
Oh, you don't say with the
It's just
T. I
white.
got you. I got you. Huh.
No, y'all not the South. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, Marlandon, you're in Texas? Where are you at in Texas? I bet you he's in Houston. Let me look at his picture. Let me look at his little thumbnail picture.
How you know he's from Houston?
Because he's leaned up against his car. I don't know. I'm just guessing. He got that Houston pose. Marlandon, where are you from? Put it in the comments. I need to know.
See, she said, "Where are you from?" That's right.
Where are you from?
Thank you. Red
Lord,
pill
again with this
Listen,
stupid ass
Texas
conversation.
ain't the South.
East Texas. Dang.
I don't do inner cities. Most I do is visit.
You country. Marlandon is country. I bet you instead of saying iron, he says earn.
Earn.
Like people from the country in Texas, they say earn. I'm gonna earn my clothes.
I say iron.
See, you're picky. You're choosing what you pronounce correctly.
No, maybe it's just certain words that were pronounced correctly to me, and certain words weren't. Like my dad would always say ain't in the dictionary, but he would say ain't. Or I think my mother too.
Dictionary?
My mother would be like, "Quit saying can't. It's can't."
Look, he says, "I don't say oil." He probably says oil. Oil.
It is oil.
Hey, wait, Soonie, what's the baddest thing as a kid or like a teen that you ever did? Like, what was your baddest moment?
The worst thing I've ever did was like sign my mom's name on.
You definitely.
I had to. You know when you get a bad grade.
Mm-hmm.
I put my mother's name on it, and she took me to Edmonell, which is a child delinquent center. And she said, "This is a crime. If you do anything like this again, you can go to jail. You don't plagiarize my name." I didn't sneak out. I was too scared. I told you, my mom watched a lot of crime shows. My mother, I had the fear of hell in me for a minute. Like if you do this, you're going to hell. Or, you know, like I grew up in a church. I grew up in like a kind of, do y'all know what Kojic is? Church of God in Christ? Anybody in the chat? Do you know what that is? Okay. They are like fire and brimstone. Delinquent.
Dude, but she's not a delinquent. Wait till y'all hear what I've done. Soonie looks like an angel.
Listen, I was not. See, no, my cousins did stuff like that.
I've been in handcuffs in the back of a cop car.
No, I was too afraid to do stuff like that.
I used to sneak boys into my house, like to visit, but then like I would. I would sneak them up to my closet, and they would spend the night. And I would have sex with them, like while my parents were literally in the next room.
See, that when I was coming up, if a girl was doing that, you were loose. You didn't do that.
I was loose. Well, I mean, not like I didn't sleep around. That was just with my boyfriend.
No.
Yeah.
I didn't do that until high school. And that was with my husband. Like,
dude, my friend, okay, so she had a baby in high school, my best friend. And we used to put the baby in the stroller and then go to Charlotte Russe. And then we would like stuff the bottom of the stroller with all the clothes we wanted for the club. And then we were like, okay, if we get caught, we're just going to say the baby like grabbed everything, like put it in the car. And we would stuff like hoop earrings and like jewelry, like on the side of her thing and like walk out. Dude, we stole every single outfit we wore to the club was stolen.
now my mother had a friend who did that.
Yeah.
I remember this. I was a kid. I remember this. Or she involved the baby. Her name was Bridget. We went to the mall and my mom left her because she was stealing. But no, my mom was what you call bougetto. You ever heard that phrase?
Yeah.
That's what my mother was. Bougie and ghetto. Yeah. Like you, nah. I was in church, girl.
Oh, I had
church.
I had sex in the church one time.
No. See, I know somebody who had sex in the church, but I ain't never did it.
Yeah. There was like, it wasn't like in the main church, but there was like this little, it was like a little, and it was a Catholic church too. And there was like this little mini church on the side, like where you could go to have like your own private little confessions. And that's where me and my boyfriend used to meet to like mess around.
See, no, if that made you a whore when I was coming up.
But he was my boyfriend. I didn't sleep around.
It don't matter. That's not the person you're married to.
I didn't have like multiple bodies or anything like that.
I was in the Daughters of Ruth. A peach out of reach and a plum that don't give up now. And I still remember that. They had the Junior Levites. I'm not Catholic, but I did the sign of the cross.
She said, "Ay, Diosito Santo, ay, Diosito Santo."
I didn't do like wild, crazy things until my adulthood. Until I was like well over 25, 26. That's when I kind of got bold and was like,
dang,
sure, why not?
I was thugging it out from 14.
No, please. I wasn't even allowed off the porch.
Dang. See, my parents were super strict, but I just was like really like conniving. Dude, I stole their car all the time. And I used to drive it to Tijuana, Mexico.
See what I mean? No.
Yes.
You were asking to die.
But you know what? But see, I'm proof that I had strict parents. I did all that. But listen to this. I never did drugs. I never like when I was
I did all those things, but I didn't do drugs. What?
Yeah, I didn't do drugs. I was just like, I wanted to always like have fun and like live on the edge. But look at me now. I turned out great.
Listen, don't replicate.
And y'all say I'm the square. Y'all say I'm the square.
If you don't listen, if you want me to be the square, go ahead. Like, this is what I mean. We come from two different worlds, bro. Like, being a square is not an insult. I'm a square. That means I stay out of trouble. I'm not in nobody's jail. I'm not breaking no laws. I'm okay being a square.
It's not an insult, but it's like to me, like if somebody says I'm a square, that means I'm boring, and I'm anything but boring. I'm like fun. I'm the life of the party.
I'm boring. I don't give a shit what people think.
I'm boring. To this day, I'm the life of the party. Like I'm just like, hey, like I'm the
life of the party. Nah, bro, that you that's too much attention to yourself.
Oh, see, I like the attention though. I love attention. Nah. Yes, girl. Like I'm just like I walk into a room and it's like my catwalk. Okay, like I'm like the room parts like the sea, and I'm just like bam, bam, bam.
What the hell? What is a circle?
Now you're a whole circle.
What is a circle, Erica? What?
What does that mean? You're on.
She said you're an S.
What does that mean? I'm a square? Okay, y'all got me messed up with the square thing because I like to me square is like boring nerd.
Nah, bro, I'm cool I'm cool with not. I'm not a square.
You're a nerd though.
I'm
You're kind of
boring.
nerdy. You're nerdy.
I'm cool with not. I don't need to be the life of the party. I need to play in the back and enjoy myself. Out of the, I don't like attention. That's just not my thing, bro. Definitely not my thing. Soonie, go to bed. What up, James? How you doing?
Right? Square's bedtime. Oh, it's daytime over there. I was about to say squares have a bedtime.
You go to bed before me. What the hell?
Yeah. If we weren't on the show right now, I would have been in bed an hour ago.
See, is that a
No, you
Stanley?
guys. No, this is not a Stanley. This is from Home Goods, and it cost me $9.99. I ain't no fool. No thanks.
Hell no, bro. I don't even. I'll be seeing these Stanley cups and people trying to get them.
I will not.
We got mason jars over here, and this is actually an old jar
I
that had jam in it.
love drinking out of a mason jar, dude. I love it. That's what I have too, is mason jars. But I got to get my water in, so I have to have this big old thing.
I like being a square. I like being boring. I like staying out of the way. You know, you stay out the way, don't nothing happen to you.
That's right.
You stay in the way.
With some crushed ice. Red pill.
I just had some crushed ice yesterday.
Oh, dude, so good.
It was so good. It was
so good.
A bunch of water in it. At the bowling alley, Erica, I went to Emery Lane's. That ice, bro. You know, when it just crunches and you ain't got to bite too hard.
Yeah. Dude, if you talk to me on the phone, tell him, Soonie, I'm always chewing on some damn ice. I'm always like in the little earpiece all the time.
I know how to tune certain things you do out now.
Like what? What do you tune out?
You eating. You eat all the time when we're on the phone. Yes. You are always eating. And I can hear you talking and eating at the same time. Like,
I do not talk.
Yes, you do.
No, I know.
It's either that or you're cooking and I hear clankety clank clank clank.
Oh,
hold on, Soonie. Oh, you always eating something.
No, for real though, I'm always in the kitchen. That's a fact. I'm always in the kitchen. Not always eating, but I'm doing dishes or I'm cooking. Y'all ever do?
Dude, I would go to Eric's house and be like, what you cooking? I sure enough would. That was the spot.
I don't think I mean, I've been drunk bowling, I'm sure.
No, I've never done that.
Yeah.
I only do that at home. See, that's another thing. I don't do that.
Drink at home. Oh.
I don't do bars unless it's a group setting and it's like family there.
Yeah.
I don't go to bars.
I don't go to bars
I have a drink
anymore.
when we like go to a restaurant, but it's not like getting drunk.
Yeah.
A drink to go with a meal.
Yeah.
I'm boring. I keep telling Mo, you're going to be bored with me, bro, because we don't listen. I don't need to talk to you the whole time we're around. Okay. There might be an hour or two of silence.
That's my shit right there, Fireball.
I can't drink that no more.
You used to drink it all the time.
Who wants this? And look, it's still here. It's still here.
What's in there? Oh, little fireballs.
I can't drink it no more. It's too much.
Dang. See, like
next month.
I'm a tequila girl. Like I like to drink tequila like on the rocks. That's my thing.
Soonie's not bored. I am. Erica, can you tell them I'm boring? Listen,
no.
I'll be back in August. I'm gonna get up with everybody in August.
No, legit though. If me and Soonie were in the same room, you would be like, Soonie, what's wrong with you? Like Mo would be like, woo, let's go. And Soonie would be like, oh my God. Like she'd be like so out of her element.
Look.
Yeah.
Look, this is what I used to do at her house.
She used to plug her phone in and nap behind my couch.
I would be on the floor because I'm covered her head. Bro, I am a chill person.
But wait, why would you go to somebody else's house to do that?
Because we would usually be eating. Our kids would be running around playing and it would be like after eating or right before. And I would just lay down and take a nap real quick.
Oh, hell no. No, if you came to my house to visit me and you went to sleep, I'd be upset.
Why?
Because we're supposed to chit chat and visit.
Bruh. Shut up right now.
I'd be like, go back to your house if you want to take a nap. You got to hang out with me.
I do want to come to your graduation. Hit my DMs up. You got my number. Hit me up.
What is he graduating from?
BMT. Let's go.
Oh.
See, she will be cooking or drawing with the kids, bro. I'm
Erica,
chill.
you let her get away too much.
Unless you give me a drink, I'm gonna be mellow.
Oh, so you're one
After
of those.
I have a drink, then I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, you one of those. You see, okay, but see, that's the thing with me is I don't have to drink to be like that. That's why I think that's why I never got into like substances, because I never needed something to make me like more outgoing or like more fun. I'm just like this all the time.
I'm outgoing now. Like
until I'm like
hiking.
Oh. Yeah.
I like hiking, but I'm not a party person. Like I don't party. That's not me. It ain't never been me.
No, but like when I say party, like anywhere I'm at is like a part. It's like a party. You know, you see what I'm saying? Like I'm home alone during the day. My kids are at work or Evan's at school, and I've got the music turned up. I'm like doing dishes. I'm dancing.
Oh, I do that.
Like I'm just like I'm vacuuming and I'm dancing and I'm like, dude, I don't ever stop.
Off after a while.
No, I don't ever stop.
Oh no! Listen, the music will be blasting. I'm cleaning, but when I'm done doing that, I'll come lay in my room and like chill or watch something or get on a debate real quick. But like you said, I'm a nerd. Like I get more fulfillment out of like intellectual stimulation.
Yeah.
I don't
see.
I
like
want to go out, but that's like a once in a blue moon type of thing.
My son is very like calm and like he's like you. He's like kind of quiet. You know, he's outgoing, but he's like doesn't say more than what needs to be said, right?
Exactly.
So like my kids get up or they come home and I'm like, hey, what do you say? What do you know? What did you do? Like, how was your day? And I have like a million questions. And dude, Evan's so funny. One time he was like, what are you, solving a murder? Like, why do you have to ask all these questions? And I was just like, I'm just trying to have conversation because I love to talk.
You're not awkward, Erica. If anything, Erica brought me out of my show because she said, Soonie, I'm having a barbecue. I want you guys to come. This is like when we really first started hanging out. Because I think we've been like communicating off and on for at least 2 years, but we never just hung out. I went over there and she had her family there. And it was like, I think we had carne. So they had carne and they had tequila. And I was turned, bro. I was so turned.
But if you hadn't drank the tequila or the drinks, you wouldn't have been turned. You would have been asleep behind the couch.
I would come over turned. Like I would come over there turned, messing around, goofing off with her playing. But after a while, it's like, okay, I want to lay down and chill. To me, that's a sign of comfort. If I can like come over your house, I'm like uninvited and just be like, what y'all doing? You know, and play with the kids and lay on the couch. But bro, like we're friends for life. Your family.
Yeah.
That's just, I don't know. That's my vibe. I never been invited.
Where's Joe trying to be invited to? Invited to what?
No, we gonna get up.
What?
See, look, that's what black folks do when they want you to invite them somewhere. They be like, I ain't never getting no plate.
Oh, everything.
Yeah.
I ain't never get no plate.
You can't say I want a plate. You gotta like, dang, you ain't ever do that for me.
Right.
You're like, you can't just come out and be like, I want this. No, you can't do that.
Give me a chance.
Give me a chance to say no. We understand the vibes.
Bella, I'm glad you popped into our comment section. I heard some very sad news from Soonie about your hojucation is not progressing the way we thought it would. And you're back to your hoish ways. Do we need an intervention or something? Like what's going on? Oh man. Not good, Bella. You're a grown-ass woman. Make better choices.
I'm a slow learner. in the spirit of our laughing, right? We want to keep laughing.
Yeah.
I have a blind reaction for you.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this was pretty funny.
But wait, is it anything that you've posted already? Because I've looked at all your posts recently.
Why are you looking at my posts?
What? They show up on my timeline?
For real?
Mm-hmm.
I don't ever see your stuff. What's up with that? Do you not post?
Yeah, I post.
I see your stories, but I don't ever see your posts.
Oh, I don't do posts because, like,
okay,
unless it's like something big that I want to stay on my page, I don't do posts. Yes, I had sex in a church when I was young. Shame on me.
You are freely volunteering that information.
Well, I'm just real. Like, God already knows. Like, why would I bother hiding it from y'all? God knows. Okay, the one person that I don't want, the one person that matters, he already knows. God already knows. It's not anything I've done recently, obviously, but when I was younger, yes.
Okay. I sent it to you.
Where? Instagram?
Angela Stan King.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Did you watch it already?
No, I did not. That I did not look at.
And I have another one. So let's do this one first. So I'm going to pull this up, and then we can do Angela Stan King.
Joe said, why change now? Just stay in your sinnish ways. I mean, I'm not perfect, Joe, but I ain't having sex in churches anymore.
All right. So, you know me, I'm a nerd. I follow Huffington Post and a lot of other news publications. And they're like it's like these random polls that they do and these random studies that come out, right? It says 11 seemingly innocent phrases you shouldn't say to children. And I was like, when I read these, I said, my kids are fucked up because I've said all these words to my children and I didn't think I was doing any damage to them. But here are the 11 phrases. Could you? Do you mind? Will you please? Can you? Huh?
Why are those damaging?
Well, it says many of us are in the habit of saying phrases like these in order to sound polite or differential, but they can cause confusion for kids. If you are giving an instruction, it is better to do so without asking. To me, that's rude.
So let me say something about this. So you remember how I said in my head, I say things in Spanish before I say them in English, right? I used to always get in trouble when I worked in the corporate world for writing emails. And they would always say, like, your emails are very direct and they come across very like demanding and rude. And that's because in Spanish, I call those like apologetic words, right? Like you're almost like softening the message before you deliver it. And in Spanish, there's not really words like that. You just flat out say whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
But like in the English language, people are so used to like 25 million disclaimers of nice, soft words before you deliver whatever message you're going to deliver. So I get that. I get that one.
See, to me, this is just absurd because I say to my kids all the time, like, hey, do you mind grabbing that for me?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, to me, it's a polite way of saying. Now, I think demanding them to get something for me that I can easily get myself is rude. But if I'm like, you know what, you're next to it, and I just want you to hand this to me, like, hey, do you mind handing this to me, or can you please hand me that? That's polite.
But let me flip this for you, okay? If you're not ready, because it's all questions that you're asking, could you? Do you mind? Would you please? Can you?
Yes.
What if your kids if you were to be like, do you mind? And they'd be like, yeah, actually, I do mind. And I'm not going to hand that to you. Why would in my mind, in my Spanish speaking mind, you don't say things you don't mean. So if I am telling you, hand that to me, this is why it comes across rude in the English language. Because if I just say, hand that to me, if I say, do you mind handing that to me? And the person says, yeah, I do mind. I don't feel like handing it to you. Then what?
Yeah, no, my kids wouldn't talk to me that way because if they did, they would be seeing stars.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Like the English language is full of phrases like this and letters that have no sound. That's the other pet peeve I have is the English language puts letters that have no sound. It's a waste.
But I also say you need to go pick up your stuff. Or you're going to do this, or give them a demand. It is only when I'm just asking them. And you know what? If they did say, Mom, you're right next to it. I'm right next to it.
No, you wouldn't. You'd be like, give me that damn remote control. No, you wouldn't.
No, because you know what? Look, I did this the other day.
What did I say
I did this the other day. I was next to the light when I was walking away. I said, do you mind cutting that off for me?
Cut.
And Jada was like, she was like, I'm going to my room, right? So I said, it's okay. I went and cut the light off. She was not posturing in a disrespectful manner to me. She was like, Mom, I'm walking away. Like, we're both walking away.
Do you like Evan? If I say, hey, Ev, would you hand me that? Because sometimes I do say that. He'd be like, I could. Or could you hand me that? He'll say like, I could. And he makes me like change my phrasing.
See, I don't know. Maybe it's because me and my husband are a bit sarcastic. So that wouldn't. Unless if they're doing it and I know they're doing it in a joking manner and they're not being disrespectful, then I'm going to laugh.
Yeah.
I'm not going to freak out. But the better way to phrase these words is to say, pick up the books, please, or you need to pick up the blocks, which is what they say you should say. Number 2 is, I'm not going to help you. It's good to encourage kids to do things on your own, but phrasing this can be discouraging and lead to a child not coming to the parent later. I disagree with that.
Wait, it says instead suggest, what does it say?
Instead suggest first try, and if it doesn't work out, we can talk through it. Like, who the fuck talks like that? This lets the child know that you believe in them, but are here to offer support when needed. I say, I'm gonna let you do this first. I'm not gonna help you with this because I know you're capable of doing it.
That's kind of the same thing.
But I'm still saying I'm not going to help you.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. They're saying don't say I'm not going to help you.
Yes, because it can offer, I guess, discouragement and lead to them not coming to you in the future.
Yeah. Good job. Okay, expand on that one.
Number 3 is good job. Many of us grew up regulating our behavior to elicit this kind of praise from adults, but this vague commendation, I never even heard that freaking word, isn't specific enough for kids to really benefit. It gives little insight into what they are doing well. When they're doing something right, be specific so they'll know which behavior to repeat in the future. You could say something like, I see you picking up blocks and putting them in the bins. Thank you for helping us keep this space clean. Now, to me, that sounds like a full-blown white parent. If you just did something good and I say, yo, good job, thanks for doing that, you know what the hell I'm talking about. Why do I need to put out a whole essay?
Why is it gotta be a white parent? Why is it gotta be a white parent?
That's my experience.
That's how white people talk.
Yeah. Come here, little Johnny.
You
drew this nice picture that I don't really think it's a nice picture, but I'm gonna say, hey, you did a good job in this picture. You didn't even though you didn't color in the lines.
Right.
Like, you feel what I'm saying?
See, and like Hispanic moms are like, okay, Poppy, there's my Poppy.
No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
No, bro. Color in the line.
Oh gosh. See, it's just different cultures. That's what it is.
Number 4, I want you to be good. Many of us have memories of being sternly told we'd be better on our best behavior before entering. We better be on our best behavior before entering someone's home or other situations. But again, this instruction isn't specific enough to be helpful to kids. They lack experience and won't always know what good behavior looks like. Cap. That's cap. If you are parenting right, your kids know when you say, you better act like you've been here before. My father told me that all the time. You better act like you've been here before, and you better not get in here cutting up. Don't come in these folks' houses acting a fool.
Wait, but you gotta read the suggested phrase. You always cut it off.
I will.
What does it say? I need you to
stay next to the cart and only touch food we're going to buy. No.
You
don't get in here and touch nothing.
That's too much.
Don't touch nothing. Don't ask for nothing. We going in here to buy what I need, and that's it. Like, huh?
Yeah. No, dude. If we like put our little hands out, it'd be like pa, like slap, right? Or like you would get the backhand to the mouth or something to back you up a little bit. Yeah.
Gosh. Number 5 is calm down. It can feel the most obvious instruction to give a shrieking kid, but simply does not work. No one has ever calmed down by being told to do so. Children need to know it is okay to have big feelings and taught ways to self-regulate. Telling them to calm down, stop crying, or get over it is assuming they can or know how to.
Yeah.
A hug, a few deep breaths together. I'm not doing that. And redirection may help kids regulate when they are having intense feelings.
Nope.
No. So you don't agree with that either?
No, because in Hispanic cultures, there is no calm down. It's a direct threat to your life. Okay. It's a direct threat. You do this and I'm going to kill you. Okay. Like that's what it is. Like, it goes straight up. Oh no, that's how it is. You about to get it. You're about to get the paliza, the chancleta. Yep.
See, no. What happened? What happened? Here's an example. I was with Erica, and the kids went with her inside of somewhere, and I think a swear word was said, or something to that effect. And my son came out to tell me the story of what happened, but he said the swear word, and I said, "No, sir." I took him outside of the car. Right? I didn't yell at him. I didn't get in his face and get outright, but I let him know. I don't care what was said. She can come out here and tell me what was said. You know better than to be using those specific words. And, he was upset, but I said, you need to get over yourself because you came out here and you directly disobeyed an expectation that I have set for you. So you can have all the intense feelings that you want, but you also kids need to know how to self-regulate, and they won't know unless we're teaching them. And I think they learn from how you interact with people, how you interact with them.
Yeah.
I'm not about to sit here and, relax, take a deep breath. It ain't that deep. It's not a big deal, right? That's something I do say because they do need to know that specific things aren't a big deal. It may be a big deal in their world, and it's okay if that's a big deal in your world.
Yeah.
But in reality, this is not a major deal, and you need to understand why.
Yeah.
That's just me though, but it says it can lead to them feeling dismissed if you say it's a big deal or believing their feelings are not valued. Sometimes they're not.
Yeah,
it may also cause the child to second guess themselves and the validity of their feelings / experience. Instead, try using an open-ended question. Questions such as, "This seems really important to you. Tell me why you're upset."
Listen, this is why kids are soft these days. When was this article written? Because I'll tell you what, like the real world doesn't function like that.
Yeah.
Like the real world, and I understand like that they're basically saying in their formative years when they're young, right?
Yeah.
But I'm a big believer that even in their formative years when they're young, you have to, obviously within reason of their age, you have to teach them life lessons that are going to apply and will increase in difficulty as they get older. Right? Yeah, this is crazy. Nobody talks like this.
Why didn't you tell me sooner? I say this a lot. So why didn't you tell me this sooner? The reason it's bad is we don't want kids to feel punished for finally opening up. We also want to keep focus on their feelings. To me, that there's a hyper focus on feelings here, which is, of course, not how I run. That's not how we run our household, but not by our own, but praising them for saying something and letting them know that we are there to listen. You could respond with, "Thanks so much for coming to me about this." Now, look, if I tell my kid, "Hey, make sure you bring your journal home. You need to work on your essay through the weekend, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remind you the day before. I remind you that morning. And then when we get in the car, I say, hey, did you make sure you have your journal? Yeah, I got it. And then when we leave or we go to gymnastics, right? Okay, where's your journal? Oh, I forgot it. And it's 4:30 going on 5. Why didn't you tell me sooner? I could have took you back to the school and we could have handled this.
Hell no.
I don't think
be like, so you lied to me?
See, I wouldn't automatically say they lied. It's kind of like maybe you thought you brought it, but you actually didn't. And that happens. They're kids.
You're nice.
They're thinking a mile a minute.
You're nice. See, I'm like, don't answer a question if you don't know the answer. Okay. Don't answer the question.
I do not hate feelings. Stop it. You guys know how I am with my kids, bro. I am very much so loving.
Yeah.
Most of the time calm, unless they just keep doing something repetitively. Then I will step out of my normal self and say, you know what? No, this ain't what you're going to be doing, cuz. But when they're upset, I sit down and hash out their feelings with them. Why do you feel this way? What's up? What's going on? I talk to them.
I don't care about any of that.
I don't care about any of that. See, that to me seems crazy.
No,
I care about how they feel.
No, I mean, I do eventually, but in the moment, no, I don't. I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest.
To me, that seems selfish. Why?
Because you fucked up. And I don't care what you were thinking when you fucked up. You fucked up, and now we got to correct it.
It's a journal, bro.
We will talk about it later. Okay, later I will come to my senses, and I'll be like, so what exactly were you thinking when you fucked up? Yeah.
Gosh, bro, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Number 10 is ending a direct statement with okay. Many people are in the habit of tacking the question okay at the end of a request in order to soften it or appear accommodating. But kids may not be able to pick up on this. Give clear directions for what you need a child to do and in there. Likewise, if you are making a declarative statement such as mommy's going to leave now, you don't want to finish with an okay. You're not asking the child for permission or feedback. You're simply telling them what's going on. To me, that's not asking for permission. That is you making sure that they've heard you. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm going to leave. I need you to do this. I need you guys to do that. Like, okay. Do you hear me?
You acknowledge me? Just like bring the notebook and he said, yeah, I got it. And then he didn't. See, that's why you getting hit. That's why you getting hit.
No, I don't hit my children. No.
Okay. If we've learned anything today, it is this. Mo is the wild one and the mean parent. Soonie is the nice parent and the square. That's what we've learned.
I'm a nice parent.
You're nicer than
I got
me.
PTSD, dog.
You're nicer than me. I do not play.
Stop it. While sometimes we need to prevent our kids from doing something dangerous, when it comes to less urgent behavioral issues, the general rule is to use affirmative rather than negative commands, telling a kid what to do instead of what not to do. Again, this helps to be specific as possible. Walk next to me, or keep the ball on the ground, are examples that Raglan Bignall gave. You may hear teachers using these phrases, such as walking feet instead of don't run, inside voices instead of stop yelling. Phrasing requests in this way helps you keep your tone more positive. I think when they need to understand that they're doing something wrong, you don't need to have a positive tone. They need to know, like, this is wrong.
Knock it off.
So mom's not going to. Exactly. That's what I say a lot. Knock it off. Chill out.
Knock it off.
Stop yelling. Quit screaming in his house. That means don't yell in the house.
Yeah. And when I say something like stop, okay, I'm not like, fixing breakfast and I'm like, stop it. I turn around, make eye contact, and I'm like, stop.
I do that if they're arguing and they're picking at each other.
But you have young kids. I have older kids. So at this point, I'm just like, You know, it's a whole different game. When you're dealing with younger kids, I'm dealing with 20-year-olds. You know, it's like different. They annoy me sometimes.
Number 10 is, was that a good choice? We want kids to reflect on their behavior, but this particular phrase sends an indirect message to the child that they are choosing to be bad. Yes, when you break a rule, okay, and you do something you're not supposed to do, that is an active choice of being disobedient. I don't know how else to make it clear, but they say instead, ask questions that will help the child come up with possible solutions on their own, affirming that child has and affirm that the child is always good.
No.
Even if they sometimes make mistakes with their behavior.
That's some white shit.
Is it?
I think so.
Why do you say that? What's your opinion?
Ask questions that will help the child come up with possible solutions on their own. Like, see, was that a good? I never say, was that a good choice? Did we make good choices today, Billy?
I do.
No, I'm straight up like, that was dumb. What are you?
I don't say that.
What are you, stupid? What are you missing? What are you missing? Brain cells? Like,
that's
did
abusive.
You hit your head? I'm just being real with you. That's just how I grew up. Like, again, Spanish versus English. In Spanish, there is
I grew up like that too, but that created a lot of like resentment in me.
Yeah, but I'm saying I heard it in Spanish. I didn't hear it in English. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
So it sounds different in Spanish?
Heck yeah, it's freaking direct. Like I said, there ain't no like, you're about to, you know, we're gonna have a talk, Billy. No, it's like, I'm gonna kill you. If you say one more word, you're dead. That's what it is. And I'm gonna choke you and nobody's gonna find your body. Like my mom used to tell me all the time. My mom used to tell me all the time. She used to say, I will go to jail for your murder before you step out of line. That's what she would say in Spanish. Mm-hmm.
You know what the English version is?
What?
I brought you in this world, I'll take you out.
And that's what my dad would say.
And I thought that she was batshit crazy every time she said it. I'm like, so you're gonna murder me?
Yeah.
Because I didn't listen to you? Like, such drastic measures. You could have just had a conversation with me, but I guess that's just a little too much.
Yeah. I'm telling you.
And number 11 is use your words.
Oh Lord, I hate that. You don't say that, do you?
Do
you say that? Oh,
Soonie.
You say use your words. What does this mean exactly? What does this mean? Okay, so give me an example of not using your words. You're like, I hate it here. Is that not using your words?
My kids don't talk like that.
Okay.
They don't talk like that. If they're bickering with each other, right?
Yeah.
They're arguing, they're having a disagreement. And the first thing they do is come to us. We say, use your words. Y'all need to go communicate. Stop fighting and communicate. You need to use words to understand why you're both having a conflict here. It's like problem solving, conflict resolution. So use your words, because you exhibiting this emotion and this anger is not going to help either of you understand why the one party or the other party is upset. So absolutely use your words. I think that's just teaching your kids how to talk and communicate with each other rather than lash out. But apparently that's not good to do, because this command doesn't acknowledge the child's distress and a result of their limited ability to communicate what they're feeling. I think that this is just saying that kids are stupid and we should talk to them as if they are stupid.
Okay, so again, I think this is like more within age, right? Like when they're young and they're learning to communicate, I can understand, like, okay, tell me what's wrong, like use your words. Like I can understand that. Okay. But an 8-year-old, that's just having like a mental breakdown over something stupid, like you took away his, video game and he's like, oh, I hate it here, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, Timmy, use your words. No, I don't give you fucked up. See, I keep referring back to the same thing. You fucked up. I don't want to hear your words. In fact, I need you to be quiet, because you open your mouth one more time and I'm going to pop you. That's what you say.
I don't talk
in my house.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. See,
we had
Don't speak.
See, we had a situation where, so Jada's just like me, my middle child.
Mm-hmm.
She is just like me. She's competitive. She doesn't like losing. When she does lose, it's like the worst time of her life. I just lost, right? And she doesn't know how to contain those emotions, right? So they all come back here. They were playing war card game. I put down the queen. No, I put down the king. And you put down this. No, you put 2 5s down, right? So I say, okay, stop. What happened? And I allow every one of them to tell me what happened, right? So 2 stories are lining up. 1 story is not. And I say, well, there's 2 stories here that align, and there's only yours that doesn't. She got very upset because she's like, you're saying I'm lying, and I'm not lying. I put this down, right? And instead of verbalizing, this is why she was upset, because like I said, if anybody knows me, it's you and Erica. I allow my kids to speak. I don't shut them down and say, no, don't talk. They're allowed to speak. And I tell her, you need to verbalize what you're upset about. It's okay that you have these feelings. It's okay that you don't like losing. Nobody likes losing. But what's not okay is you acting out this negative behavior. That's not okay. So allowing them to sit and have that conversation with me and with themselves, I personally feel like that fosters a healthy line of communication, not only with each other, but them knowing that they can come to me, however big or small it is. It doesn't matter, because to them, this is a major deal. It's a big deal to them. So we need to have conversations about it. But that's as far as it goes for me. And she's 10. My youngest is about to be 9, and my oldest is 12.
Right.
But I still have that conversation with them because they don't know how to regulate their feelings. They don't know how to regulate their emotions. They just know they're selfish at this age. The only thing they're thinking is, you did something I don't like, and I lost, and I'm gonna have a whole attitude. No, let's talk. Let's use your words, and y'all communicate. I bet you they'll be great spouses when they get older. They'll have the ability to listen. And, my son will have the ability to listen as well and respond in kindness, but also get your feelings out there. Well, this is how I feel. This is what you made me feel. It may not be true, but they'll still have the ability to talk. Versus if I just shut it down and I didn't allow her to say her piece, she would be feeling some sort of resentment towards me because I'm not even allowing you to talk. Now, she didn't lie, but the other 2 weren't paying attention to how the card game was going, right? So at the end of the day, once you put the whole story together, it's like, okay, the 2 5s were already there and you did throw this queen, but you threw a king and you won. Then they're all like, oh, okay, dang, we did overreact, and like, dang, okay, that did happen. And the situation's calmed down. Versus if I don't do that, there's a bunch of people running around with their feelings all up in the air.
Yeah. But see, my only thing, like, I think that's great how you're handling it amongst them in your house. But then I go back to, in the real world, nobody gives a damn about how you feel in your side of the story. Like, the real world is not that kind. And can you imagine? No, but I'm just saying, like, can you imagine, like, they go into it like a real world situation, like when they're older, and they're like, well, don't I get to tell you my side of the story? And they're like, no, you're fired. Like, we don't need to hear anymore. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's how it really is. Like, we've been trying to get rid of you all along. Like, we don't like you. We don't care what your side of the story is. You don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, that's the real world.
Sure. I tell them the real world. I tell them all the time, this is your family, right? I care about how you feel. Your sister cares about how you feel, but the people out there don't care about how you feel. They don't give a damn. Yeah. So it's not that I'm very much so realistic with them. They understand. Like, for instance, we're very conservative. They're friends. They're not. Right. My daughter comes home all the time. So-and-so said they had a crush. Mom, this person said this, and they had a secret here. And I say, you know what? That works for them. But we don't have secrets. We don't have crushes. You're not old enough for any of these things. I think you can have a healthy balance of both, of teaching them proper
Right.
emotional
So
regulation.
you do
and
tell them
maturity.
about the other side then. That's
Yeah,
what
they
you're
know. They look. I remember the first time I told my kids, this was 4 years ago. I said, there's homeless children, right? And they were just like, huh? And I had to put on a documentary. This
saying.
little girl doesn't have a mom or dad. You know who takes care of her? The state and some stranger.
Mm-hmm.
So they get the real world.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's my job as a mom and my husband's job as a father to prepare them for life, because they are going to have to they're going to have to be emotionally mature in these situations.
Yeah.
Whether the person who they're dealing with isn't, they get to demonstrate that, like, you know what? Okay, I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
I understand. To me, that diffuses a situation so much. You cannot even believe what they're feeling at the end of the day. But if you just acknowledge somebody and be like, you know what? Okay, I hear where you're coming from. We may not agree, but I hear where you're coming from. Just imagine how much emotion you take out of a situation, because that person's defense mechanism comes all the way down, because they're like, okay, you're listening to me. That doesn't mean it's going to be like that in every situation, but I still think that they should have that tool in their belt to be able to pull it out.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they have to have all the tools, Yeah. They got to have all the tools, because you got to, my thing is, I think I think I raised my kids the way I was raised, right? So like my parents, when they raised me, their idea was, we're going to raise you with toughness so that when you encounter nicer situations, it's going to be great, right?
Yep.
But when you get to the tough situations, you're going to be ready for it. And that's like, that's how I raised my kids too. And it's funny because like we both have completely different parenting styles, and you've kind of somewhat, interacted with my kids more so. I think Evan, because he's always around and he talks or whatever. But my kids are really good kids, really well-adjusted kids. They don't fight. They don't get in arguments. They never have been suspended from school, right? Like I know people that are just like so involved in their kids. And I'm not saying this is you, but I'm saying like people that are so involved in their kids' life and guide them very like carefully through everything. And their kids still be fucking up. See, like I grew up thinking, okay, I'm going to be really fearful of authority. In that case, like in my case, it was like my parents, right?
Yeah.
So like fearful in the sense that I respected it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's interesting how both two completely different methods can result still in a good product.
See, the avenue you take is my husband's. Like, of course, he's not saying I'm going to kill you.
But he's the harsher punishment.
But he is the harsher punishment. There are no chances. You screw up, I punish, push-ups right now.
Yeah.
I told you guys during Christmas, my son, his grades weren't up to par. They weren't. I knew they weren't up to par, and he had a paper he needed to finish, but I was so in my feelings. It's Christmas time. It's family time. We're going to sit down and watch this movie. And he said, no, he's not. No, because what happens when you're in the real world and you have to sit something out?
Right. Exactly.
Is he going to know how to cope with this?
Nope.
I wasn't thinking that way. I was thinking like, you're a part of the family. You need to be a part of this. And he's like, no, he needs to understand when you don't do things you're supposed to do, you don't participate.
Yeah.
So there's a healthy balance. He's the law around here. Me, I'm like, okay, let's talk about it.
Yeah. But I think like traditionally, that's how a mother should be. Like you're the more a mother should be the more nurturing person. Yeah. Like in our household, I'm the mean one, and Dave is like the nice, fun parent.
That's how it was in my household.
But he grew up in a soft household. He grew up in a household like where they didn't like, like they weren't as strict as my household.
Yeah.
Yeah. And look,
my
household
like
was strict and I was still acting up. I was still out having sex in churches. I was like, well, I'm afraid of authority, but let me just find a way around this and I just won't get caught.
If I sneak, I won't get caught.
Yeah. See, that's it. It's funny because my two kids, so like I have one kid who on the surface, this is Evan. He's like my little angel. He could do no wrong.
Yeah.
But P always tells me it's just that he knows how not to get caught doing whatever he's doing, right? Gabby, on the other hand, she's messy. Okay. Like when she used to do stuff, when she used to do stuff, she just like didn't think it through. She
Yeah.
was just like, she was me, but she didn't have like the street smarts that I had because I grew
Yeah.
up more in the streets, right? Than she did. She didn't grow up like that. So she didn't know all the angles. And nowadays, there's all these mechanisms for us to track. You know,
Yeah.
you leave it all types of breadcrumbs for me. Back in our day, I left the house and my mom
You didn't know where they were.
reach me. Yeah. I could tell
Had
you
to call
whatever.
around.
Yeah.
That's true. That is true.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not looking forward to that. If my kids could stay this age forever, I would be so happy.
Right.
'Cause that means they're here with me. I know they're good. They're not out there getting into, no good. But at the same time, I have to trust the process and trust that we've done our job and understand that they are their own humans. Like they have their own minds. They have their own things that they want to grow up and do. I'm just preparing myself for it now so that when it does happen, I'm not beside myself.
Right. No, I know.
My son is 6 years away from 18.
Hey, dude, when you
It
get
goes by
there,
like that.
and that's the thing, like, what are your kids' age groups right now?
12, 10, and almost 9.
Okay, so they're still in that age. Like you have one that's about to hit like the puberty, middle school. Like that's the toughest age.
I'm experiencing it now, girl.
Yeah. But you go through like phase, like I still think middle school was like the worst.
Yeah.
But like for me, like I would never go back to middle school. But then once they hit like high school, then there's all these like little milestones, right? Like they start to like whatever, the boys or the girls more. And then they start doing activities. They want to go out with their friends. And then that's that whole, like, I got to let go a little bit. I got to trust a little bit. Right. Oh, we're going to stay after the game and go get something to eat. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. And then there's the license. Yeah. Like it's just nerves from middle school forward.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I can imagine. They already want to start walking places. I let them. So, and my husband's like, dude, I'm so shocked that you let them do that.
Well, there you could do that. I wouldn't do that here.
I would never let them do that in the States. No.
Yeah.
Oh, no. They're not walking anywhere. I don't care how bad they plead.
Yeah.
But my son is starting to smell himself. You ever heard that phrase?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I said, y'all need to get in here and clean this mess up. I'm not your slave. This kitchen didn't look like this when you came in here. It shouldn't look like this when you leave it.
Mm-hmm.
So he comes in and he's doing something, and I say, "Why is that there? Like, why would you leave that there?" And he was like, "I'm cleaning it." Right? The influx in the voice, and I said, "Who are you talking to?"
Right.
And he looked at me like, "Oh, what did I do?" I said, "Don't talk to me that way. I'm asking you a question." Because you are leaving me your mess to clean. So if anybody needs to be influx in their voice, it's gonna be me.
See?
And when I get to that level, you start to cry. So are you sure you want to have this exchange with me? But that's how I talk to my kids.
Well, that's what
Are you sure you want to have this exchange with me? Because I don't think this is what you want to do. And he's just like, well, Mom, I'm just answering you. That's when it's like, you may be just answering me, but you don't realize that you feel a little frustrated. I'm asking you this, and it's showing in your mouth.
Yeah.
Your tone.
Yeah.
You need to be mindful of that. Don't talk to me that way.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's my way of checking them. Like, first of all, ain't gonna happen, sir. Me, when I was growing up, I would have just got slapped in the mouth. Watch your tone. Don't talk to me like that. I don't think that that's a productive way of parenting.
Fix your face. You better fix your face.
I could tell he was frustrated though. He was sitting there like, bro, I'm cleaning it. What you asking me these questions for? Because you didn't clean it. That's why. So I need to make sure you understand I'm not your damn maid. There's only one person that I'm a maid in here for, and his name is your daddy, not you.
Right.
Stuff up.
Exactly. Oh my God, we're both frozen on my. Am I frozen on your end?
No, you're moving.
Oh, we're both frozen on mine.
I think the chat is frozen because there hasn't been any conversation for a good 10 minutes, but we have one more topic and then we're done.
Somebody put something in the chat so you know.
I think people enjoy this type of discussion because you get to hear what works and what doesn't, what some mothers do versus what some mothers don't.
Yeah.
That's how I do it. Like,
I mean,
I
everybody's
look at my mom and I take a lot of what Erica posts on Facebook. We just had a whole conversation about something that I had done that she had recommended, and I noticed that it worked. But I also I'm just being honest. I look at my mom for what not to do. And that's no slight to her. But I know how I came up in the ways that I felt, because I can still remember a lot of like the feelings that I had. I don't think that ever leaves you as an adult.
Yeah.
And you start to think, I do not want my kids to feel this way. So I try to be super mindful that this is not what I want to repeat.
Dang. See, that's crazy. Because as tough as my mom was on me, in my mind, I'm like, I'm never going to be as good as my mom was. I'm never going to.
But you got a different relationship, though.
Yeah, but my
like,
mom,
y'all's dynamic
my
is
mom was
different.
hard on us, though. Like my mom was hard on us, but I'm like, I still like think I'll never be the mom my mom was, or even the woman that she was or that she is. I will never measure up to that. Like, to me, that woman is perfection. Everything she does, it's annoying. Like, to the point like where like I like having them over for dinner is like stressful for me, because my mom does everything so well and so good, and like she's so thoughtful about everything. Like I'm totally like, I'm a rustic person.
Yeah.
You know, I'm very like casual, you know what I mean? Like I'm the person that like I'll stand at the counter and eat or whatever, or like pick at the food. My mom would be like, no, let me get you a plate. Like here, like, you know, she's that type of person. And I'm like, oh my God.
How you feel about your mom in terms of like what you want to be and what you aspire to be is how I feel about my mother-in-law. I have those feelings towards her.
Oh, well,
like if my mom were to come over right now, I would straighten up, but I'm not taking the extra step or the extra mile. Versus if my mother-in-law comes, dude, this house is going to be spotless.
Right.
And it doesn't mean that I don't love my mom, because maybe she's watching.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that, but there's just a different level of respect.
Different things that matter to her.
Yes. To me, she's the ultimate wife. I love her and my father-in-law's dynamic. They work together. They run a whole business together, and they're very successful at it. That's what I want to aspire to be. You know, all her kids are out doing something productive with their life.
Yeah.
They're not out here in the streets doing nothing. So I feel that way about her. And of course, my husband would be like, well, there's several mistakes she made. Yeah, but there's a lot of great things that you took from her that you've taught to me, that she's taught to me. Versus me, no. No, I would never do 99.9% of what my mother did. No.
See, I'm like that with my mother-in-law. I'm like, never would I ever. Okay. Even like, okay, I remember when I got married, I was like, okay, I need to find out what the foods are she used to cook for him that he likes.
Yeah.
That was like one of the things I did. And girl, you know how white people be cooking. Okay. Like I was like, okay, it took everything in me to not add a little bit more like spices to things.
Yeah.
Cause I was just like, this is your favorite. Okay, fine. I'm gonna make it the way you want it. I'm gonna make it the way you like it.
Yeah.
But I was like, yeah, like when I would go to their house to eat, it was like a totally different environment. Like they had the TV on it. Like the TV was like literally like right in front of the table. My mom would never. Okay.
See, that's how I grew up.
Yeah. Like it's literally like the table, and then at the end of the table there's like a TV. And I'm like, y'all watch TV while you eat? My mom would be like, no, we need to talk. We need to have table conversation. Like we need to, yeah.
That is not how I grew up. There was a TV in the kitchen when we would cook.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I like that though. Like I do enjoy sitting down and talking with my kids. We do freaking riddles. When we sit down at the table, we do riddles and jokes. The kids are like, can we do knock jokes? We don't get to do it together as a family because of my husband's work schedule.
Yeah.
But see, that's something I didn't grow up with that I wanted.
That you craved it.
I would have loved. We only did that during like holidays where we would all sit down with each other. But outside of that, no, everybody went to their own respective spaces. My mom would go in her room and eat.
Oh yeah.
My little sister is younger than me, so she maybe be in her high chair. I'm at the table, but everybody was doing their own thing.
Yeah. That's so funny.
I don't want to be like that.
Yeah. But at the same time, like I say, like my mom is like the ideal perfection, but like I'm not going to be like, dude, my mom is like too perfect. And again, I'm more a little bit more loose.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit more loose. Like I like, dinners together and all this other stuff, but yeah.
It's not every night. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it is.
Oh, it can't be. Our kids are all doing different things.
Yeah.
Nobody's home at the same time. We try to do one meal together. It'd be nice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes my son isn't home till 8.
Mm-hmm.
We're going straight. But my schedule is busy. Look, veggie burgers tonight. Y'all can make them.
Yeah.
Any other night, I'll cook breakfast, lunch, dinner. I don't even do breakfast anymore because they're old enough to tackle that. But lunch, dinner, most of the time I'm cooking.
See, I cook. I get up and cook. Like I said, I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I cook breakfast every morning, and I cook every meal, every dinner. I cook. So, like, even though we're not all together, like I cook. Like, so, like for the show, for instance, like on show nights, I cook dinner like, ahead of time so that it's ready. But like I sit down on a Sunday and I do like my meal plan for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Like I write down everything I'm going to cook. So like in the daytime, that's what I'm doing. I'm cooking when you call me and I'm like, click, 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 click with everything. It's because I'm cooking.
See, I wish I had the patience for that in the morning, but I don't because I'm like, did you put on lotion? Did you brush your teeth? Did you wash your face? And then I got a baby here. No. Sometimes I'll do that on the weekends, like this past 2 weeks since we've been home and I haven't been doing this. I made breakfast every morning. I got up, fried eggs, made rice. My husband had breakfast every morning, but I can't do that during the week. I can't. It's just too much. That would suck so much out of me.
Well, now you know
on
why
top
I go
of doing this.
That's why I go to sleep so early because I get up and I'm like, boom, 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 boom. I'm go, go, go. I don't watch TV. If I'm listening to something on my phone, I'm constantly moving. Like the TV does not turn on. I listened to that whole Fani Willis trial today, cleaning, grocery shopping, cooking dinner, doing laundry, cleaning carpets. That's what I did. Cleaning carpets. Yeah.
Now, I might get down on my hands and knees and scrub, but that ain't happening every morning.
No, I
It's
clean.
gonna happen like once or twice a week, if that.
Oh, girl.
But you got more time on your hands, bro.
Yeah, because my kids are not little like yours. I didn't have that type of time when they were young and like in school, and I had to like do school pickup because then you have like a window that you like a very small window because you got to like take them to school. Then you have like a couple hours to get stuff done, and then you got to go pick them up from school, and then it's like dinner time, and then yeah.
So I'll probably be like you when they're gone, not gone, but when they're older.
Yeah,
have more time. This crazy that we're having this conversation. It's like low key therapeutic because I was doing laundry, and I do my kids' laundry. I fold their clothes up, and I just tell them to put it away, and they were just out there chilling, living their best lives. I could hear them giggling, playing, and I was like, "Why am I folding your laundry? You're 12, you're 10, and you're 9." Yeah. And I was like, I need to get out of the habit of doing everything for them because I do. And my husband's like, about fucking time. Yes.
Yeah.
Stop doing everything for them. But it's so hard because I feel like that's my sense of purpose.
Yeah.
What other purpose do I have outside of my kids and him?
Well, you know what's bad is I do that. So like Gabby, Gabby learned to do her laundry like right away because I taught her how to do it. Yeah. Evan, I took a lot longer because in my mind, he's going to be a husband one day and he's going to have a wife that's going to do all this for him. So like I'm doing it for him like a wife would do. And then, but Gabby, I'm like, you need to clean your bathroom. You need to do your laundry. You need to, like, I'm like, I feel like sometimes like I'm a harder on her, but at the same time, I'm like, he's got different goals to attain, not
Right.
laundry and cooking. Of course, if he lives on his own, he has to do that, right?
Yeah.
But I know my son, he's going to stay with me until he finds a woman to marry, and then he's going to leave. I know it.
Yeah.
Because he's smart.
See?
He's like, why would I go make my
That
life
is
harder?
exactly how I feel. I
Yeah.
feel like it's my husband's job to teach him those things. And I don't want to
Mhm.
step in the middle of that. See,
Yeah.
I tend to do more things for my son than I do my daughters too.
Mhm. But he knows how
But
to
I
do
love on
laundry.
them equally. My son
I
don't know how to do no damn laundry, girl.
Oh, but my son's a lot older, but still,
He
like,
12. He should know.
yeah. Yeah.
You know what he does? He throws all of it in there together and washes it and then forgets it in there.
Oh, dude. When Evan does
That's what he
laundry, he just throws it all in, all the colors together. He doesn't care.
Or now he's gotten to the point where he's like, Mom, are my sheets done?
Yeah.
And I'm like, sometimes I just be like, dog, go do it yourself. And then other times I'm like,
But
well, no,
then
he should have this expectation from his wife.
exactly. That's what I feel like. I feel like I'm teaching my son what to expect from a wife.
I'm a woman.
That's what I
Exactly.
feel like. Yeah.
I feel the same way.
And I'm teaching my daughter how to be a wife.
But I'm
Which
more
she got a
traditional. Either
long
way.
to go.
She'll get there.
She will.
She'll
but
get there.
But you know what? Like, her and her boyfriend are gonna move eventually, I think, to Florida because he's gonna go to school there, and she's always wanted to go to Florida. And I'm like, you really need to like cook a little bit more because you're gonna realize he's not going to be content with eating out Chick-fil-A and McDonald's and whatever else y'all be eating. That's gonna get old. Like, he's gonna be in school, he's gonna come home, and he's gonna want a good meal. Okay. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm like, you better get in that kitchen with me. You better get in that kitchen.
See, that's why I'm glad my girls love to cook now.
Yeah. All she knows how to make is noodles with butter and cheese. Okay. And ramen. And she does know how to bake. She does know how to bake. That she's good at.
Yeah, Gabby.
Yeah.
Tell Gabby I'm gonna need her to get it together.
I be telling her.
Need a meal.
I'm like, and then you're gonna be in Florida where I can't even come through with like a casserole or nothing.
Like, let me help you out. Slide on through.
She's like, I'm gonna call you and ask you to talk me through a recipe. And I'm like, well, I kind of did that with my mom. Like, when I always like to cook, but I think like when I got on my own, I realized, wow, like this is a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah, like organizing a grocery list and all that stuff. And I remember calling my mom and I'm like, how do I make this again? Or like, the first couple of years, like she was always like sending me recipes because I, wanted to like cook different things. So
I do that with my mom. That's one thing. That's crazy. That's one thing that we do where I'll call her. Come on, can you tell me how to make your pie or your cakes or like what you put in this? Because my mom makes really good food.
Mm-hmm.
It's just unhealthy food.
Yeah.
But I do call her like, I'm going to call her to ask her how to make this 5-flavor cake that my grandmother came up with because I don't know how to make it.
Mm-hmm.
And my daughter wants to make it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some shared experiences. Like I would take that from her. I really enjoyed getting up early in the morning to go help her cut up vegetables for like a big dinner we were having or helping her for barbecues. That's what I took from my mom.
Right.
My mom was a great friend.
Mm-hmm.
Like when people were in need, my mom, she's very giving.
Mm-hmm.
Watched her do that a lot. She would bend over backwards for people. So if anything, I would take that from her. But her parenting styles, they need to go in the trash.
You could leave that to the side.
Yeah, you can keep that. But she taught me how to be a friend and how to help people in need. And sometimes putting yourself to the side. Now, my husband would disagree. I wonder if he's watching this. He's probably like, girl, shut your ass up.
Yeah.
That's what I took from her.
Yeah.
I watched her take in people that had nothing. Like nothing, dude. And allow them to stay with her for rent free.
Mm-hmm.
Plenty of times. And it was usually women in her situation. I don't think I have a clear enough picture there because I don't know if they took advantage because some of these people are still her friends to this day. I kind of think, would they still be friends if they really took advantage of her? Because my mom is
she still helping
them? She's a bit vindictive. I think every now and then she will help. Every now and then. But when I was younger, she helped out a lot of people. I can't remember all of them. I don't know where they are now. I'm 33 and I have lost. I don't even live in that town anymore. I've been gone for so long. I couldn't tell you where they are now, but I'm sure she still keeps in contact with them. Bet you money she does.
Yeah. I think I learned how to be a good host for my mom, like a good, kind of the same thing, like a good friend.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, the other day, like she's got these little friends that come over to her house, these little old ladies that come over to her house. I say old ladies because they're her age. And they're always like, oh my God, my mom's name is Maria. They're like, oh my God, Maria, like everything you do is just so perfect. And you have something for everything. Cause like she has like these little lunches and like she has everything you could possibly need kitchen gadget wise. Right.
Yeah.
So her friend calls her and she's like, oh my gosh, I'm freaking out because my husband wants me to like cook a paella, which is a Spanish dish. And she's like, I love paella. I know how to cook paella. She's like, but I don't have the big pan to make the paella. And she's like, and then you have to kind of serve it a certain way. And she's like, and I know you have everything. And my mom was like, don't worry about it. I'm going to give you everything you need. And we're going to do it right. Right. So she brings all her stuff over to this girl's house. And this lady was like, talk of the party. She was like, oh my God, you're such a great hostess. You did such an amazing paella. Everything looked beautiful. You had all the beautiful plates. And she didn't say, oh, Maria, let me use them. My mom was like, don't tell anybody, just pretend like it's yours, because my mom loves to see people succeed. Like she loves to see people like be their best, but she's tough.
Yeah, that's cool.
But she's tough. That's just it.
I get that. My mom is tough too.
Yeah.
I think she had to be though. I think there's just some moms. My mom didn't have a mom. I don't know about yours, but my mother's mom died when she was 11. She was very young. I think she was 10 or 11 years old.
When she was young, yeah. Mm-hmm.
She didn't have that. And I don't even really think she had a dad because my grandfather's a drunk. She had an evil stepmother, her family that were married into them. So my mom, I feel like my aunties and my mom, they all kind of raised each other.
Yeah.
They raised each other. So the toughness, I think that's where it comes from because she had to be tough. And she don't know when to turn that shit off. I know how to turn it off. I'm slowly learning. Like I've definitely changed. This was not always me.
Yeah.
I have changed a lot over the years.
Yeah.
I know how to turn it off now and turn it on. My thing is learning how to turn it back on because feelings are just not
your thing.
That's not my forte. No, it's not. It just feels foreign to me. Like tough conversations, I do not enjoy having them, especially with somebody that I care about.
Oh,
that is something that I run from. I do not. I will sit and deal with it within myself until I can't no more. That's usually when I'm exploding, like,
that's
you did this, blah, 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 and I'm like lashing out, dude.
You know what I used to excel at when I worked in the corporate environment? Firing people.
What?
Yes, because I don't run from tough conversations. I'm very good at it. But what it is that I am able to deliver a tough message in a way that would always convince the person that I was doing them a favor.
See, I don't have that ability. That's good.
Yeah. Like I wasn't like mean about it. But I was a good person. Like when I had to like write people up or fire people, it was always done with love, but I never was scared of it.
Maybe that's where I struggle to find that balance. Like,
yeah.
When I feel, because I've never been in that situation where I've had to fire someone. If I feel like you've wronged me, or I feel like you're not taking me into consideration into like a decision or a discussion, the first thing I do is get reclusive. You're going to notice there's a difference. Like, dang, Soonie ain't, what's up? What's going on with you? And I'll be like, I'm good. Nothing.
Oh,
I'm not going to say anything.
You do that to me all the time.
I talk to you. I feel comfortable.
No.
What do you mean? No.
Oh no, dude. There are so many times like we'll come in here before the show, right? And you'll be like so quiet. And I'm like, what's wrong with her? And then like I'll talk to you and you're like, I don't know. Like,
but there's nothing wrong that you've done.
But still, but you're still like recluse, like you're still like quiet.
Oh,
and
I see what you're saying.
On, right?
Okay.
So like
I'm
just here like, what happened? Because like literally minutes before we were chatting on the WhatsApp, whatever, sending stuff back and forth. And then I'll jump in here and I'm just like, what's wrong? Go back and watch the beginning of Tuesday's show. And I asked you, I'm like, are you good? Go watch yourself.
Really?
Yes, dude. I know you were having like technical difficulties.
Yeah.
But I was like, Soonie, are you good? And you're like, yeah, I'm just trying to find topics for the show. And I'm just like, what? I was like, okay. Like go back and watch because I think you're going to be like, dang, dude, was I having like an out of body experience? Because you're going to be like, I don't remember it like that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you were like in another world. Like mentally you were in another space.
See, I feel like that's something that I need to be like receptive of, right? Because something can happen and I know how to shut that off for now and come do this.
Mm-hmm.
But my quietness is like I need to get myself together, right? Because like if I talk
quiet,
I need solitude. I really do. I have to sit with myself. Yeah, we're getting the comments, Erica. I can see them.
Well,
I have to sit with myself. No, she sent to us. She said, I'm here. I think it's just her commenting right now. People might just be listening. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something probably did happen. And I was probably very much so frustrated. But I know how to just be like, I'll deal with that later. Let me come do this show. But right after that happens, I need a moment to myself or else I'm no good.
Okay.
Fucking good, bro.
So let me give you feedback. Then, since you're now open to this information.
Yeah.
So if that happens to be, okay, so I'll remind you on Tuesday, you were out grocery shopping with your husband. Do you remember the conversation you were sending me? And you were like, bruh, we're grocery shopping, right? So I don't know if that was that, right?
That's probably what it was. Yeah.
Okay. So if that happens and we're about to start a show, just message me and be like, hey, start the show without me. I need 15 minutes to get myself together because what I need as your co-host is energy. Okay.
Yeah.
Because when I'm like, hey guys, welcome to the show, blah, 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 and you're like, like it's awkward. And if you guys can comment, if you guys know what I'm talking about in the comments, like I'm just telling you, like I am perfectly fine starting the show because I much rather you come in late and come in ready to do the show than start the show in a weird funk.
See, that's one thing about me is because my husband says the same thing. He's like, dude, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, nothing. I'm just quiet. Because to me, I'm just quiet. I don't feel like I'm giving off anything weird. It's like I need this.
Yeah.
I just need this for a minute. And once I have my moment to myself, I'm right back to it.
Yeah.
But
that's you can't do that when you have a show.
See, to me, I'm taking that moment before. This is just in my head. This is how I feel like I'm doing it. And it may not be translating that way, but this is how I feel like I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, she's not going to care. This is before the show. I just need a fucking moment.
She likes to talk, so I'll let her talk.
Exactly. I'll be listening like, I'm there.
Right.
But I'm also like, whatever I'm frustrated about, whatever I'm just like upset about, I'm talking myself through it. Yeah. That's usually what happens when I'm quiet. I'm in my head.
I need your energy. This is a partnership. I need your energy.
Yeah.
That's
I'm going to do that. I hear you. If I need a moment, I need a moment.
If you need a moment, just be like, Mo, I'm going to join. Like, I don't care if it's 30 minutes. I don't care. Just come in strong. Okay. Come in strong and be like, boom, 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 boom. Because like, it's different, right? Like when you do your lives, you go live when you feel like going live. Like when you're like, I got a topic. I'm ready to talk. I'm ready to whatever. And you go live. We have this show every Tuesday and every
Tuesday and
Friday at the
Friday.
same time. And like, I know it's easy for me to say because I can do this. Okay.
Yeah.
There, like, if my life is really, really bad or something really bad is going on, I'm just gonna be like, Soonie, I can't even do the show because, like, I cannot mentally pull myself out of anything that bad in 15 minutes. It's gonna weigh on me the whole time.
The whole time.
So I'm just gonna be like, you got to find somebody else. Like, I would say that. But if it's just like something's frustrating me, it's an instant act that I put on the minute that countdown.
I can't do that shit, bro.
Dude, I could be so mad. And the minute that countdown ends, I'm just like, hey guys, welcome to the show. Yes. Like, that's what I
had
do.
that ability. I wear my heart on my sleeve, bro.
Yeah. I do
People,
too. With
you can
things.
tell when something's wrong with me. I just,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think I've faked it for so long that I'm just like, me being quiet is the best thing for you and me. So you better take me being quiet. Not you, like personally, like just in general. You need to take me sitting here quiet, because if I'm not quiet, it's going to be an entire confrontation. I struggle with talking about my feelings. I don't like it.
Are you thinking about like how you're going to confront, like how you're going to handle whatever conversation, like if it's with anybody, or is that what the quiet time is about? Like you're figuring it out, like you're processing?
Quiet time for me is like, it's me processing.
Oh, okay.
So let's just say, for example, me and you get into a conflict, right? And I'm expressing to you how I feel. And then you're like, you express to me how you feel.
Right.
But in that moment, I feel like you're not really listening to how I feel. You're just responding with how you feel. I'll shut down, right? And be like, you know what? Whatever. We'll revisit the conversation later, but I'm done talking. In my head, when I'm sitting there, it's like, okay, did I react the right way? Did I hear this person the right way? It's like a battle in my head. I have so many notes, dude.
That's crazy.
When I have a conflict, the first thing I'll do is write. That's the best form of
you write it out, or you just write like
I write it out. No,
write out your feelings.
I write what I'm feeling in that moment. I do. Matter of fact, I won't show you guys what I wrote, but just so you can see how many notes of just how I'm reflective, dude. I will write it out and then look at it later. And sometimes I'm like, bitch, you were tripping. Like, what? And then other times, if I can see a pattern in this thing that I'm feeling, that's like, okay, you need to address this because why do you feel this way? What's going on? But that's my way of coping with things. Look, this is what I do when I feel frustrated.
My God,
I'm upset. I will write my thoughts, put the phone down.
Can you just read one?
No.
just read like a little snippet. I just want to know what they sound like.
No.
Just something insignificant.
Okay, this is something insignificant. This bothered me.
Okay.
I said, I often feel like a character in someone else's book.
That's all you wrote, just that.
Yeah. You said a snippet. You didn't say a whole paragraph.
It's just a snippet of a whole thing. Okay, wait, are there notes about me in there?
No.
Don't fucking lie.
I'm not. I don't listen. I do not harbor bad feelings with you because I know I can come talk to you. If I'm frustrated about something, I know I can be like, look, this is how I'm feeling. And there's not going to be what I don't think it's fear, but what I don't like is like automatic judgment from someone instead of understanding. You're emotional like me. It's easier to talk to another woman because we're going to relate on an emotional level.
Yeah.
Now, and I do this to you often, right? Not often. Let me not say that. But when I'm frustrated and I come and talk to you, I have no problem talking to you. And then you're like, I hear you, but you should probably do it this way.
Yeah.
I hear you, but did you think about this? Or did you consider this?
Right.
You're doing exactly what I do in my own head. So it doesn't feel threatening to come talk to you.
But see, I can be I've got to be threatening because when I'm the total opposite of you. Whereas where I should take time to process before I respond, I'm just like, bleh, like it's just like verbal diarrhea. Like I just say whatever comes to my mind because with me, if I'm okay, this is the only time thing you need to know. When I'm quiet, I am about to fucking blow. Okay.
Really?
I'm quiet because if I say something to you, it's going to hurt you. And so I'm quiet to hold back, not because I need to process. Oh no, honey, I got it all right here to tell you. Okay. I'm just quiet because I'm doing you a favor because I'm going to say some shit that I'm going to later have to come back and apologize for. And that's what I typically do is I just like let it all out. And then I come back and be like, okay, I know I was tripping.
Yeah.
But see, the good thing with that is that I'm going to get it all out. Like there's not going to be anything that I hold back or like whatever.
Yeah.
So.
No, I understand what you're saying, Erica. They're like.
What's she saying? Oh,
there's just things that happen. Like I'm a person who lives in their head. When people say anxiety is fake, they're lying. I go to bed thinking, I wake up thinking. I'm thinking the what ifs 24/7. What if this? What if that? Okay. What if I do this? What if I do that? How do I take it? Doesn't shut off. So there are times where I just need silence because my brain does not shut the fuck up. It doesn't. This is why I smoke, because that's the one moment that I just get a piece of solitude and peace within myself. It ain't even got nothing to do with society. I need that moment within myself because I'm constantly thinking.
So you're trying to like, you're almost trying to silence yourself because you're just.
I'm trying to. Yes, I can put myself in a bad mood with my own thoughts from overthinking.
Yeah, I think a lot of women do that. I mean, I overthink things also.
Yeah, I can put myself in a bad mood. You could have been having an innocent interaction with me, but I'm just like, I don't like how you said that. And why did you feel comfortable saying that to me? Like I have those thoughts in my head when I need to be like, you know what? You don't know what they're thinking. I don't know what they meant. And the only way I'm going to find out is if I ask them. And then I'm like, yeah, but it's not even worth it enough for me to sit there and ask you that. That's when I run from the conversation. I don't even want to have the conversation with you.
Oh, so you start to like
say some shit. If you say some shit I don't like, am I going to have the ability to still like?
Then you're like me.
Cool?
I'm gonna hurt you. Now I'm gonna hurt you.
Because when I write somebody off, they're written off. That's it.
Yeah,
we're not. There ain't no communication, talking. Like that's it. No.
Yeah, that's me too. Like that. Like old girl that I went to Colorado with. Okay, she did the most, and she sent me text messages, and I'm not responding because I'm done with you. I'm done with you.
Me and Erica had a real nigga moment.
What?
Erica texts me out of nowhere. She was like, you ever know your man is a good man, right? Without a shadow of a doubt. But you watch some shit and you just like think, I wish a motherfucker would. And I could relate so much, bro. We were having a whole text conversation about just the thought of something happening.
Yeah.
That's me, especially with my kids, bro. Like the thought of something happening and I hyper focus on it can ruin my entire day.
Wow.
My whole day will be done. And I just need to go to bed.
Just the thought of it?
Just the thought.
That's crazy.
So I'm saying anxiety is real, bro. It can, I don't let it dictate my life, but there are some times where I feel like I do not have control of it to the point where it trickles over into my dreams. And I'm like waking up, don't want to go back to sleep. Yeah, bro.
Wow.
I say I need weed. Okay. And the people around me need weed. Because if I don't have it, you're not going to get much from me.
And that's why I don't do weed, because it has the opposite effect on me. And I'm like you. You see what I'm saying? Like when I do it, I'm thinking too much. Like I'm just like, oh my God, I just heard my own words. I can like hear my brain processing. Like it's too much for me. Like if that's what you're going through, like on a normal basis, I would be mad. I would be like crazy.
I just heard my own voice.
Yeah. You know, like when you're just like, whoa, like, you know what I'm talking about? Like when you get really, really high and then you're just like, I just heard myself.
Dude, I have that all the time. So it's not even a whoa for me.
See,
I talk to myself.
Dude, like if I had to live with that every day, I'd be in a bad mood too. I wouldn't even want to do a show. I wouldn't even want to do a show. I'd be like, I can't.
This is my escape. Let me not even say that, because my life is great. I have nothing to complain about. I really don't. I have a great husband. My children are good. I'm safe. I'm provided for. Like I have nothing to complain about. But I think I think it stems from being young and like constantly worrying about it would be small things, dude. Like sometimes we would be on the verge of eviction and I would know it because my mom would have gospel music blasting and she'd be walking around the house praying, you know?
Yeah.
It's like always being in a state of like, what the fuck's going to happen? So I think because it's been like that for me, uncertainty, that's a word. I don't know how to take myself out of that. It's become
even though your life isn't like that, you're just like waiting for the shoe to fall.
Waiting.
That's crazy. That's actually kind of sad.
It is, but
because I feel like you never have a moment of peace inside you.
You don't.
Dude, and I'm over here. He's over there puffing away on the weed, and I'm over here like, when can I go to bed? Because Mo's in a perpetual coma all the time. Okay, I just can't. Listen,
if I could just lay down and go to sleep.
That's exactly what happens, dude. I lay down and just 2 minutes, I'm out.
I can't do that. I need to smoke something or take a sleeping pill.
You know what I do?
Or I'm gonna sit there like this.
Dude, this is my thing. Okay. Maybe you should practice this. My grandmother taught me this because she used to make me peel an orange and pray. Okay. So I had to, the whole thing. Yeah. Because my grandmother had this like orange tree in front of her house. And there was nothing to do. She lived by the Amazon. Okay. Like the jungle. Yeah. And there was nothing to do. And so like, for fun, she would be like, well, you need to learn patience. And so we would peel the oranges and if you couldn't break the rind, so you had to peel it all in one, like swirly rind. And if you broke it, you had to start all over again. Right.
That's cool.
Okay. So when I go to bed at night, I take my orange and I take my knife and I peel my orange and I say my prayers. And my goal is to not break it. And if I break it, I'm just like, oh. And then like after I'm done peeling it, like I make it all perfect and take like all the white parts out. Like it's a whole process, but that's like my wind down. That's my wind down. I know that sounds really weird.
I don't have one. Actually, I try to keep like a schedule of something I'm gonna do to bring peace. And it's usually sitting outside, having a smoke and just thinking. Like I like sitting outside in the dark. Just having a smoke or listening to music. That's my escape.
Yeah, I like
that before.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I need to hear this song. What is this song? It was bothering me that I couldn't find it. And I finally found it and I was
it was a gospel song. And then she even told me like when Jaron came in the room before we started the show, she's like, you could just put me on mute because I got to hear this song. Like I was like, bro. I was like, Jaron is probably like, what the hell's like I just mute Soonie. Because sometimes she gets in these modes and it's like today it's gospel and then tomorrow it'll be some like ratchet ass shit. And then other times it'll be classical. Like it's so random, like what she listens to. Yeah. Or other times she's listening to a podcast. Like I come in and she's always, and I'm just like this, hello. And I'm like texting her on WhatsApp, like I'm in here because she doesn't see me.
My phone was back here.
Yeah.
And you're not on the screen.
How am I not on the screen?
So I have a screen, but there's different windows. You're in a different window. And
you just have one screen.
No, there's two screens here, but there's one for each monitor. So when I come in here, you're not here. So I usually just click it off and go do something else. Because when I get in here, I'm in here by myself. It's rare if I come in and you're already here.
I know, but you gotta have that shit open on the other side so I can be like, hey, when
I was listening to a true crime podcast. That's what I was doing. I was not paying attention.
Oh, wait, I got something for you. Hold on. I got not to deter from this conversation, but I gotta go soon because I'm about to piss myself. It's gonna be a big one. It's gonna be a big urination sample. Okay, so P recommended this to me, and my whole entire soul was snatched the entire time. And the good thing about this is it's not like multiple episodes. It's just one episode. Okay. This is a crime documentary. Hold on.
What is it?
Hold on. Wait, did he say it was on Netflix? Hold on. I got to go to my messages. What is it called? Okay, it's called Lover, Stalker, Killer, and it's on Netflix.
I already watched it.
Isn't that crazy?
Bruh.
Dude, who has that type of time to be
All
that
day.
crazy? If you haven't
She
watched,
circled the block, bro. She spent the block 14 times in a night.
she shot herself. She burned up her own house. She stabbed her own clothes. What the fuck?
I watched that.
Dude, that's
I
a
was
repeal the
tripping.
Yo, that's a repeal the 19th.
We actually, this is what we need to do. I already said we're gonna start having theme shows. I think when stuff like that comes out, we should come live and do a whole show about it, bro. Like that show was freaking bananas.
Bananas, dude. Like the way I was screaming at the TV.
I thought it was Kari the whole time.
We don't want to spoil it for the people, but come to find out. Yeah, come to find out. It ain't what you thought.
Linda, ain't that her name? Linda?
Wild. Okay. It is a true story. It's crazy.
But you know what? I feel like men ignore the signs of a batshit crazy woman because she looked loony.
Okay, but this is what's crazy. Okay, and P pointed this out. He's like, how crazy is it that the guy was talking about how he set up his dating profile on Plenty of Fish, and he specifically said, not looking for anything serious, like looking just for casual, whatever. So basically, he's outlining, I don't want anybody crazy, anybody who's going to get attached. And that's exactly what he attracted.
That's what he got. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man. That shit was crazy.
Erica said for the time they showed
They
that
showed that lady.
Oh, see, I
thought it was her. I thought it was the missing woman.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I was going to say the spoiler alert. The reason that the time, or how do I say it? It wasn't until they revealed that the woman who was murdered had bipolar. And she was dealing with that. And I was like, well, maybe she just had a manic episode and lost it.
Yeah.
That's when I thought, okay, damn, this bitch is crazy. But then when they talked about the fire, I was like, oh, she did this. Ain't nobody but you did this. Because she was too calm at the scene. And that 911 call that they played.
When she shot
way
herself.
too calm. No, not that one. At the fire.
Oh, yeah.
The recording they have of her.
Yeah.
Watch that. Please go watch it. There's another one that just came out.
My stomach started to just knot up just talking about it because it had me so stressed out. It had me so stressed out. I'm telling you.
It was a good documentary, though.
It was.
You guys should watch American Scandal, too, if you haven't seen it. I thought that was a crock of shit, too.
American Scandal or American Nightmare?
American Nightmare.
Okay, let me add this to my thing right now then, because I just saw it.
That is scary.
Okay.
That one is scary. It had me shook.
Oh my God. 3 episodes. See, the other one, thank God it was only 1 because I wouldn't have been able to function. If I had to sit through another, sorry guys, my thing went out. If I had to sit through another episode of that shit and they were going to like delay it and like draw it out.
Yes, I love Mr. Ballin. That is my dude.
Do you listen to Mr. Ballin? Who's that?
He's a YouTuber. He does like mysteries and crime. No, he does true crime series where he storytells. He like retells
I don't know if that's why I listen
long
to.
hair.
Yes, dude, that thing that's so
Mr. Ballin.
soothing. I listen to that at night sometimes.
Oh, you crazy? He tells some wild stories. I can't listen.
No, but I literally go to sleep to. See, that's how calm my mind is. I'll be listening to that and just be like,
I will go to bed dreaming about that shit if I listen to it at night.
Not me.
I love Mr. Ballin. Mr. Ballin popped off. I was listening to Mr. Ballin. I like to brag. I was listening to Mr. Ballin before he was popping.
Just like you were watching the people build huts in the jungle.
Hell yeah. Before they started popping. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you still watch that too, don't you?
Every once in a while. Mm-hmm. Every once in a
The
while.
ones when they're missing people in the forest. I don't like that one. See, that's my fear of somebody offing me and nobody knows where I am.
Okay, so when I was in Colorado, it was like we were snowed. I'll tell this last story and then I've got to go. Otherwise, it's going to be just like I'm going to pee myself.
I gotta go too.
There was nothing to do because we were like covered in snow. So I was like, you guys, let's go for a walk because we were like literally up in the mountains. And so we were like walking on this open pathway. Yeah. And all of a sudden, like it curves around. And one of the girls was like, no, we're not going down there because it's all wooded. And like, for sure, that's where people go missing. And I'm like, let's go. Like, that's me. I'm like, you guys, let's just go. I was like, let's just go a little bit. Yeah.
You're the white girl in the movie. And it's like, ooh, let's go inspect.
Because I have curiosity.
See, curiosity killed the cat, Mo.
That's right.
You ain't never heard that?
But I'm still here.
Thanks for hanging with us this Friday, y'all. We'll be back on Tuesday for a show. And if you don't see me for 30 minutes, that's just because I needed time to chill out.
Yeah, if Soonie,
everybody knows now if I'm missing.
If I start the show, I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna be like, "Hey, Soonie needed a minute." So then y'all are gonna hold her accountable if she comes in with an attitude.
Yeah, definitely hold me accountable because I'm not. I don't think I come off that way, but it's good to know that I do because sometimes I think my husband's crazy when he's like, "Yo, what's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "Nigga, nothing. I'm just quiet."
Kyle. If you watching this, I know what you're talking about.
I see you. Don't blink though, because you don't need rescue. All right.
Man. All right.
All right, y'all. Peace out.
Bye.
They say the song's so offensive, but only if you get offended. I can't offend you without your permission, and you don't even have to listen. They say the song's so offensive, but only if you get